Hi guys, good evening. I hope you're all doing well. Happy Valentine's Day. Even though that's not really a thing that we celebrate over here, it's a thing, and I hope you've all had a good one. And I hope you're all doing well. And mister, if you don't see a resub message, then try refreshing the page. That often helps. That helps in most cases.
Twiggie.
Good evening, Pierce. Thank you for the bits. So if you're wondering why it's not the main screen of the game, is that the main screen of the game has the church, and the chandelier is swinging and it's creaking while it's swinging, and I cannot deal. So I had to just go back into the game to avoid that sound. Hi, Skibbles. Is in 1 hour? Well, then that's why. That's why. Alright, so, what happened is, last time, we went to the move as Marianne, and we helped the rights move and everything, and we saw the ghost, I believe, didn't we? Did we see the ghost now? I can't remember if we saw the ghost now or, like, yesterday. Or the day before. Oh, so we saw the ghost on the 24th. It's now the 26th. And we've been helping them, and Luke decided that he didn't want the mirror in the study.
Damn, it's Valentine again. Well, I was thinking I'd watch some movie with my GF. Could someone recommend me a GF? I hate long-distance relationships, especially when my GF lives in the future. And now organic chemistry keepo.
Those are the worst types of long-distance relationship, when it's not long-distance as in physical distance, but in time. I feel you, mister. Thank you for the bits. So, we moved the mirror into the wine cellar, and for those that remember, when we played as Hana, she heard the ghost crying in the wine cellar, and that was later that same day. So in some way or another, the ghost is tied to the mirror, but we don't know how yet. And also, Marianne sees the ghost as her best friend in school, Lorraine. And Lorraine was basically in love with Marianne, and Marianne was in love with her too, but she was taken in by this Peller and went to a Christian school, so she had been taught to believe that that was sinful, so they didn't do anything about it, and Lorraine ended up killing herself. And Marianne sees the ghost as Lorraine, which is interesting. So now it's right after Luke told Marianne and the workers to just go home early, and we don't know why.
I just want to say that I am sorry for what I will send, so I will try to have in smaller portions so you get more bits as apology, LUL.
Oh boy. Oh boy, mister. Thank you for the bits. There's enough time jumping going on in this game as it is. True. Hi, Kalia. Good evening. So this is right after, Luke sent us home, along with all the workers. My ride back to the city doesn't take too long to get here. Granted, there were some difficulties at first, because the driver didn't know where the Ermengarde mansion was. He tried to have us hand over the GPS coordinates from our smartphones or some other technobabble I didn't care about, but the butler didn't understand. But as soon as we told him it's a haunted mansion over in Anselm Village, he knew just the place. And finally headed over, albeit with some hesitation. All the way back to the city, the driver keeps complaining about that place giving him the willies. It gives me the willies too. I would have loved to snap at him. But as soon as the thought occurs to me, another blossoms in the forefront of my mind. One that has somehow bothered me greatly, more than my exasperation with whiskey in this project, or wanting all of it to stop. There has been no Lorraine whispering over my ears today. Hi Hope, good evening. I think a group of very avid followers of this game now. I think this game has sort of split my entire viewer base in two. there's one part that wants to know everything that happens in this game and follows it intently. And then there's the other group who just doesn't give a shit. And I understand both sides. I do. I'm in that first part. I want to know everything. I'm so loving this game. I really am. Worse, I find myself searching for it. Searching for her. Damnu uirti. Loose ends. Fucking bloody loose ends everywhere. I thought I've already moved past this years ago. And it does nothing to help me curb my frustration. If anything, it only ensures that I want a stiff drink. And where else do I go to drink? Tuesdays are for karaoke. And Wednesdays? Improv. Oh no! Do we have to watch them do improv? I don't want to do that. I have bloody thirst and hunger and need to know absolutely everything in this game. Same. I'm watching, I mentioned it in Discord, but I'm watching Jesse Cox and Dodger play through this game, and I only watch up until the point where I'm at. So I don't spoil myself what's gonna happen later on. I would never do that. I keep simultaneously wanting them to do different choices than me to see what the other paths are, and wanting them to do the exact same thing as me to see their reactions to everything that happens. Hi, Saima! You didn't finish the game? I thought you finished it. Make him as another streamer to play the game? Nice. Usually, it's these 4 guys who did a hilarious games. Oh boy.
Isomerism in organic molecule means that you have 2 molecules that share the same name but look different and have different physical and chemical properties.
Uh-huh. Are we waiting for a follow-up? Yeah, I'm waiting. The one with Irish drinking songs are always a crowd favorite. You have to read your notes. Perfect. Lovely. Not only do you have like 15 hours in this game, you watch another 15. Yes. And the problem is I can only watch like 1 or 2 hours a day because I have so much other things to do. I've done till Rebecca next is Ash and Luke, so I'm just delaying it. Oh, but here's the thing. This game has this way of making us feel entirely different about characters as we play them, so you might end up liking them. Actually, in Jesse and Dodger's playthrough, Ash has been more likable than in this playthrough. So lost down the rabbit hole, I am. And I don't know how I feel about it. I'm kidding, I love it. Though I love a good laugh, stand-up comedy isn't my thing. And without Cam and Haruna or any other distractions, I end up drinking a lot more this time. That's not good. And when there's several bottles of beer in me, I get really, really embarrassing.
Hey! G! Psst! G, come over here.
Oh my god, Marianne.
I need you for something.
It's a good thing that the bartender is a nice fellow. I'd probably have been kicked out of other places by now, or worse. If push comes to shove, all he would do is give me an easy smile and a shake of his head, even when he's attending to other customers. Just like now.
Give me a moment, will ya? I gotta go check on her.
He's some Asian guy. And I'm pretty sure I've seen him around here a couple of times, although he never talks to anyone else except G. You meant to gamble 2000? Oh, the girls used to be all over him too, but he always turned them away.
I'll be here. You go do that before she falls over.
Asian Joe, love it.
All right. What is it?
Is that the same character model as the priest and the Rochelle's husband? And the same voice. That's the same voice actor as Rochelle's husband. I don't like stand-up comedy, no. I went and saw Ricky Gervais. And... I mean, Ricky Gervais is amazing, but I don't like going to a small stand-up comedy show. No. Not a fan. At all. I think it's so awkward. And I know a lot of people love it. I can't. I can't.
Do you need someone to help you get home?
That is the same voice. What was his name? Lee?
Bartender, pour the wine.
Oh, Marianne, sweetie. Don't be like that.
I think that's enough alcohol for you, little missy. I'm cutting you off.
A whine comes from the back of my throat as he pulls my bottle away. I have no hope of getting them back once they're behind the counter. Even in my drunken mind, I don't dare hop over it for them. Because what little sense I have left knows I'd sooner take a floor dive than succeed in wresting a bottle from a sober man. It doesn't sound like Lee. You don't think so? I think he sounds exactly like Lee, the guy who's married to Rochelle, who keeps hitting on Hana. That wine was amazing. Can we listen to that again? No. But that doesn't stop me from trying to reach out with my arms like a stupid idiot anyway. He smiles and shakes his head, just like I know he would, before going back to the other guy.
Right now, where were we? How you holding up, boy?
So if Ash is out drinking, this is on the 26th. What happened to Ash? What does he know? What's the reason for him going out to drink on a Wednesday? Because I'm pretty sure he's working on a case related to the rights. With no drink and no one to really chat with, I would have gone home, or gone to sleep on the bar right there and then. But I'm not ready to stand up and try to trek back home just yet.
Same old, same old. I'm still on the Luxborn firm case.
Bit of a drunk? No.
Those blokes they talk about being in dark suits, whisking people into the night or some shit and all that. Didn't the media call it some ridiculous name in the morning news?
What is it this time? Wait, don't answer that. They've called it a lot of things. As long as people don't start running around claiming they're the Illuminati. So, what have you got for me this time, G? Anything good?
Slow down there. You haven't even told me what sort of dealing dosh we got.
Are they talking about the case, like, openly in the bar? Because that sounds like a not good thing to do.
Who are you looking into this time?
Their talk would have interested me, would have kept my attention if I gave a damn. But in my current state, I can barely give 2 fucks about the things going on around me. All these words are just buzzing, barely surfacing from the sea of sounds that is the pub. And it would have stayed that way, perhaps even drowned if I didn't hear his name.
Luke Wright. You know the guy.
You probably shouldn't be saying this in the bar.
And don't pretend like you don't, G. It takes a special kind of ignorant not to know who he is.
You're very irresponsible, Ash.
That smug blonde who likes throwing round his money. He was just here a few days ago, as a matter of fact. Great tipper, if you think him just dumping a wad of cash on the counter after having too much whiskey counts as tipping.
Gotta get leads from the bartender like in the movies? Yeah. And just make sure that everyone knows exactly what case he's working on.
Why are you asking? He dirty?
You have no idea, G. He's probably the worst sort you can imagine.
Luke fucking Wright. Fucking whiskey. Even without him around, I'm still hearing about the guy. What the absolute fuck? Despite this, I find myself getting up and sauntering over to join them before I pipe up.
Is this smart talk about Luke fucking Wright I'm hearing, eh?
Private conversation here, lady.
There's only amusement on G's face. The Asian guy, he starts to look ticked off as hell.
Don't worry, Holmes, she's clean. And she might be able to help you with your, predicament.
He's 100% the same guy voice acting Rochelle's husband. This guy. Harvey Lee. Yeah, 100%. What are you trying to imply, Skibbles? What are you trying to imply? Huh?
Course. A drunk's just stumbled through here with what I need. Get real, G. No offense, lady, but you're smashed.
I know, right? Nothing beats being drunk after a hard day's work. Especially when you're working for Mr. Luke Wright.
So, she works for the guy? Doesn't that make her, I don't know, suspect?
See, have a little faith in me, why don't ya? I don't have much, and you might as well have something to go off. You're the one who was so desperate to come running to me for business.
Yoo-hoo! Still right here, fellas. 5'11". Can't miss me. Unlike Shorty over here. What's with that mad look? You want to dance, boy? You don't look like you can bust a groove. Maybe a leg, but with that fancy coat of yours.
To add insult to injury, I moved directly behind him and used the top of his head as an armrest. Excuse me, why is that not like a big background screen that we get to look at? But when he shakes me off, I plop into the seat right next to him.
Don't try me. You can hardly stay on your feet.
Holmes. Nice.
We don't want to ruin your fancy coat, do we?
Ah, children, the both of you. But you're still standing after all that, are you? Matt, you see this giantess? She's a legendary regular here. Been drinking like there's no tomorrow. I'm a bit jealous. Can't do that anymore or my liver will give out on me. Good with the mic, too. Don't see you much recently, but I guess you're always busy, aren't you?
I was here yesterday. Right? Oh, maybe not. Wait. Oh, a week ago. Okay, a week ago. So, she's usually there, like, at least once a week. That's concerning, Marianne.
You're some fancy designer or something, if I remember correctly.
Wait, I know you. You were at the open house for the mansion.
Yeah, that's right. Marianne McCulloch. I'm a famous interior designer extraordinaire. Ooh, that rhymes.
Drunken talk like this is not charming. I just feel like I have to put that out there. It's not charming.
Anyway, you guys were talking about that weenie Luke right?
Or something. Can't really talk about it. I don't even know if I can trust you, even if G said you're clean. But anything would be of help.
Well, I don't gossip about my clients, if that's all there is to this.
You wanted to gossip about him a few minutes ago, Marianne.
And that was the beer talking, not Marianne.
You won't mind if we ask the beer a few questions then?
Maybe. Depends on who's asking and what they're asking. But seriously, that guy is abso-fucking-lutely frustrating. One moment, he's an absolute dickhead. And then he's acting like an actual decent human being the next. I just can't figure him out. I can't imagine how that pretty wife of his can put up with him. If I were her, I'd dump his flat arse straight up.
When did they have that talk? Her and, that was later, wasn't it? Yeah, that's on Friday. We're on Wednesday now, and Friday is when Hana asks her about their relationship. Never thought I'd see her Marianne before we got to play with her. No, same.
There are many types of isomerism, but there is one that interests me. It is called enantiomerism. I will explain with hands.
Alright. Please explain.
Hands look the same, yet they are different. No matter how hard you try, you cannot get them on top of each other, so both hands are rotated perfectly on top of each other.
It fits very well with the music.
The same is enantiomerism, basically mirror image of the molecule. Two molecules with the same atoms, yet you cannot get them to 100% cover each other.
Oh shit! Someone does not appreciate your jokes. I'm sorry. He did not appreciate it. Well, it's chemistry. Isn't chemistry kind of a joke, though? I'm joking. Thank you so much for the bits, mister. It's very kind of you. And I would say that I learned something, but I'm gonna forget that in like 10 seconds. So I apologize, but I appreciate the effort. Hi, Skiptis. Good evening. Hold up. Let me do something about the whining thing in the window. He's not happy at all. He's not happy. I forgot the moment I left the lesson, so you know how it is. But thank you, mister. Really appreciate it. Stay. All is right now. We got some link time. That solves everything in the world. Let's be real. There is nothing that this face can't solve. And I'm not just saying that because I think Hannah's pretty or anything. Luke is a catch too. They both are. But I really cannot, for the love of all things holy, see how they even work out together.
So, Luke Wright, have you noticed anything strange about him while you were working with him? Anything peculiar? Of note?
You're the one being peachy right about now, Holmes. But nah, nothing that comes to mind off the top of my head. He's just like most rich, smarmy arseholes and then some.
A giggle bubbles up and I press my cheeks against a cool countertop with my eyes shut tight. Just because. So she's lying down on the countertop. Wow, Marianne, go home. A catch with that mustache? She's not talking about him. She's talking about Luke, which is worse. He's not leaving and I don't really understand why. I don't know what's happened to him. I don't know. I mean, I appreciate it, I'll take it. Eventually, cracking one eye open, just in case they thought I fell asleep, I grin at Holmes.
So, Holmes, I'm guessing you're some private detective or something. Is it Hannah? Did she pay you to look if he's been cheating or some such?
Hannah's the wife, right? What about her? How is she?
How is she or how is she? Well and good. Definitely the nicer of the two and sexy as sin to boot. Not a private detective then.
I can't see the screen right now because someone is in the way.
Are you from one of them tabloids wanting to know if the Luke Wright doesn't know how to put his pants on right?
I mean, he doesn't put on his own clothes even, does he?
Pants. I take the pants off of...
Ah, here we go. Slipping. I haven't been this drunk in such a long time. It's a miracle I've been coherent enough. Coherent for as long as I have been right now. More coherent than me, apparently.
I'm asking you if you've noticed any odd behavior from her.
Odd behave... You what? I wonder how she'd be drunk. I can just imagine her like the giggly sort.
Cheesy pickup lines are you French because I fall for you. I must be in a museum because Twiggie's stream is truly a work of art. Hey, my name's Microsoft. Can I crash at your place tonight?
Mister, thank you so much for the bits. Appreciate it.
What do you think?
These are serious questions, Marianne. Lives might just be at stake here.
What do you expect? She's smashed.
Hi, Simon.
Why am I even doing this? This is getting me nowhere, G.
He's so close to sitting on the spacebar. I'm just saying, like with his tail. And if he does that, he's gonna auto-skip a bunch of things. So I'm trying to avoid that happening.
She's not a reliable source. The chief, let alone the courts, aren't going to take the word of a drunk.
Hi G, how are you doing? How was your day?
This will be dismissed, and I might be in trouble if they try to argue that I coerced a testimony out of her. This is a fucking train wreck.
Yes. Yes, it is.
You're a fucking train wreck now, if you ask me.
Names change according to the characters. It's so great. It's really, really, really good.
Maybe it's about time you apply the brakes and stop for a bit.
Very tired after a long day of listening to talks. Understandable. It's crazy how tired you get from that. I always underestimate that. Oh, skip this. That emote is great. The wave of despair that comes over the both of them is palpable. If feelings had a taste, it would be bitterer than the beer I'm full of. Drinking my hotel on Twitch with room service food since I got back. Oh, that sounds so nice. That sounds lovely. 8 AM to 6:30 PM? Yeah, that's a long day. That's too long of a day. It's understandable that you're tired. And it gets me thinking. Though thinking doesn't get me far with too much shite in my system.
You know that's not an option. Thanks for being patient, McCullough. Good luck with your work on that mansion.
Tomorrow starts closer to 9 and it doesn't finish too late. Good.
Speaking of that mansion, there's something going on in that place. Something.
Half my Twitch activity ever since last gifting the sub is just said my like and follow channels and randomly use the emote or something that was just said. I noticed, and it's great. All day Saturday just to explore Amsterdam. Nice. That's really great that you have a full day to do that. So freaking cuddly right now. Are you jealous? Are you jealous? Did I get to cuddle with you? Yes. Because I would be. Is making noise because he lacked cuddles? Could be. Right now he just wants to really desperately clean my hand for some reason. I don't know. I don't know what I did, but apparently my hands are not clean. You stream an hour earlier today? No. I don't think so.
Did you hear about the restaurant on the move?
Oh god.
Great food, no atmosphere. Can you put the cat out? Oh, I didn't know it was on fire. This graveyard looks overcrowded. People must be dying to get in there. People don't like having to bend over to get their drinks. We really need to
Oh no, it cut off! It cut off, it was too long! Oh, mister, thank you for the bits. Oh, that was great. On many doggo cuddles when I got home today, neighborhood dogs were shouting me over. Oh, I'm glad you have neighborhood dogs at least. Know how unclean our keyboards are? That's true. Our keyboards and our phones. Using like the hands because like this is salt. It's yeah, that's one of the reasons. And also I read that if you use any type of lotion with perfume, your dog sort of goes, this no longer smells like you. So let me clean that off for you so you smell like you again. And I might have put on some hand cream earlier today. So that could be it.
As ocht day! No wonder Mr. Right likes it so much. It's as fishy as he is. Rotten bloke.
Not yet, Skibbles. I've gotten used to it, so it doesn't bother me that much anymore, so there's no rush.
Maybe that Santos girl is really onto something, eh? Suspicious shite, I'm telling you. Explains why she's so reluctant.
My dog is quite hip. Except when he takes a dip. He looks like a fool when he jumps in the pool and reminds me of a sinking ship.
Good lord, mister. Thank you for the bits. This horrible attempt at an accent. Yesterday, they showed some of the backstory of of Marianne in Ireland, and they had one girl who actually had a pretty good Irish accent. And Marianne sees the ghost as that girl, and she talks to her as the ghost. So maybe we will get some actual Irish today. Also, I want you to know that... Oh, sorry. The angle that his body is bent in right now because of how I'm holding my hand to show you guys his face. His body is faced me. His head is faced towards you.
What do you mean that Santos girl is onto something?
Before I get another word out, there's hands on my shoulders and everything starts to... Oh shit. Everything starts to spin. I quickly slap his hands away the best I can, and I send him the foulest look I can muster.
Take your hands off me, pipsqueak. I'm not a lady who's shaken or stirred unless you want me up chucking on your pretty hair.
I put hand cream on like an hour ago, Hope. But I use that regularly, so I don't know. He just sometimes goes into these moods where he wants to clean us thoroughly, and I don't know why, but it's just... I just take it as one of his ways to show love. And that's how I cope.
But it's just like I said. Are you sure you aren't brain damaged or deaf?
Seems like he's comforting you. I don't know. I don't think I'm particularly stressed right now. I'm always a little stressed. He's just like that. He just does that sometimes. He is a good boy. He's a very, very, very good boy, right? Yes. Ah, yes, the background stress. You know what I mean. It is very cute. It's super cute. This is the other hand, by the way. Webcam is like 80% fluorescent floof. I can turn the lights down a little bit. That might make it a little better. But it might also mess up the green screen. Yeah. It messes up the green screen in that corner. A little bit. And so there's no good way to deal with that, unfortunately. Ugh. I can't help it that he's so white. It's like he's glowing. Interestingly though, if you put him in snow, he looks yellow. Like my brain's only mode. Same. Too relatable.
Santos girl from BRC showed us this creepy letter. You know, just like those spam stuff you get in your emails.
Probably something you should worry about right now, so we'll keep a low-key flow of adrenaline going just to be sure. Story of my life right there. Isn't it great how our brains work? Yeah, that was great timing, G. Well done.
And we thought it was some joke, or that the girl was just a bit too green to handle a big sale
Today
like
I
that.
saw an ad that said, radio for sale, $1, volume is stuck at max level. I thought, I just can't turn that down. A joke from my daughter, where does a tongue go to drop off its old clothes? The Salivation Army just spent 6 hours linking all my watches together to make a belt.
God. It cut off. It was too long and it cut off before the final punchline. Just as well, that was a waste of time. Thank you for the bit, Mister. Thank you for the bit, Mister. Really appreciate it. Yes, Hope. Yes. I think I'm in low-key stress for a couple of decades now. Yeah. Yeah, me too. I think we're a lot of people that can relate to that.
You should have seen the look on their faces when they saw it. Whiskey? That's Luke fucking right, you get me? And the missus didn't look too happy either.
I really appreciate it, Mister. It's very kind. Hang on. He gets this eye goo and I just try to remove it whenever I can. Because who wants eye goo, right? We don't.
I should have taken a picture and posted it everywhere. When rich snobs give you that face, no wonder the Santos girl went all mental on us. Working with them does that, you know? I think I'm about to. I'm not mental yet, am I?
A little bit.
Anyway, just like I said, in that man... Hey, you okay? Holmes? You're looking a bit shaky yourself there.
And he really is pale. Paler than before, at least. I can see the gears turning in his head on overtime. Suddenly, he shoves a card in my hand. Luxburn Police Department. Detective Inspector. On it, his name, Ashton Frey, and his number. But he has second thoughts as he grabs it from me and slips it into my pocket.
You're cute, pretty boy. But I prefer blondies.
This is the worst drunk voice acting ever. Yes.
Well, you're not exactly my type either, lady.
No, because he likes Becca.
But listen to me. If something comes up, don't do anything rash. If you think you're in danger or if you see anything suspicious, call me and the authorities as soon as possible. You understand me? That's 99...
I know what the damn emergency number is.
Right, 999. Good. Anyway, I have to run. See you, G.
The guy is quick on his feet, already up and at him as soon as the numbers leave his lips. Alright. Watching him as he maneuvers through the crowd of other pubgoers is enough to tire me out. Fast as he can, he's at the door and throws us a smile, and that's all we get before he's gone. Just like that.
Oi, what about your drink, boy? I'll go put it on your tab then.
Holmes boy always like that, G?
Pretty much. But what about you? I suppose I'll put your drinks on your tab too. Don't want you to spill your wallets when you look like you're close to spilling yourself.
Yeah, and if it's fine by you, I think I'll go take a bit of a cat nap here. Just for a sec or two.
Go right ahead. I'll wake you when I close up shop.
Swimming in cocktails, nice. Hi Detox, good evening. Yeah, that's the look of someone who is overdosing on cuddles. Blink twice if you're kept captive. Are you being kept captive? Or do you want to be kept captive? I think he wants to be kept captive. I think he's very happy. This guy wouldn't even pretend to put on a different voice, right? It's the exact same voice. Bartender just fine with her sleeping on a counter? I think so. Mumbling his sleepy things, I doze off on the spot, face pressed on the counter. Okay, he's finally down. He's finally down. This is where he's gonna sleep for like half an hour and then he's gonna move. So Link has Stockholm Syndrome. Isn't that all dogs? He also doesn't like cameras, and I don't know why. Oh. I'll keep it out of your face, sorry. To progress on this Witcher, have fun, mister. Enjoy. Already, I dread the pain I'll have for sleeping in such a position. But when you gotta go, you gotta go. Do any of you also do that sometimes when you're like dozing off for a nap and you can feel like you can feel that you're gonna be in pain. But you're also so comfortable right now that you just don't bother to change positions. Because I fall asleep in my chair all the time, and that happens like constantly. That'd be my face too if someone cuddled me. Yeah, for some reason, he's warming up to the idea of just staying with me while I stream. Sorry, he has one piece of like There's something in his fur that he's napping at, so I want to just cut it off. So 1 or 2 nights ago, she had this stream with this, basically. This is Hana and Lorraine. Lorraine is the girl who died. He remembers the treaty gods for playing the game with you in council. True! Maybe that's the key to like keeping on stream all the time.
Oh, Marianne! How long have you been standing there, dearie?
Come join us, Marianne. We won't bite. Unless you ask, that is.
Not that I can get much sleep to begin with. So we've seen that scene before, like during the night, and it went on for a long time, and it was them talking to Marianne, and it tripped me out. I was so terrified by it. Yeah, it's Hana as well, because they look so similar, and that every time Marianne sees Hana, she also sees Lorraine. And she thinks that's sort of why this ghost has been triggered for her. Do people ever have the feeling that they're working on something they really enjoy, but still it eventually tires them out? Yes. This is 28th? What happens on the 28th? This is when Hana asks her about their relationship. Okay. And the night of the party. Because honestly, I've been feeling like this.
You have certainly exceeded expectations, Marianne. Everything looks so marvelous, and in such a short time, too.
He just wants more cuddles. What can I do? How can I play the game when he wants more cuddles? Look at him. Look what he does when I stop. How can I ever stop? Her name is Marianne in one word, but the reason they keep calling her Mary Ann is because that's what Hana thinks her name is, because she's basically bad with names. We make our move on Hana? Maybe. Problem is, we know later this night, they have their housewarming party, and Rochelle says that her baby is Luke's, and after that, Hana gets incredibly possessive over Luke. And then she gets possessed, so I don't know if a Hana and Marianne romance is ever gonna happen. Though moments like these make all the hard work worth it. Definitely.
Well, I can't take all of the credit. People have certainly been enthusiastic about the idea of working on the right mansion.
Possessive and possessed. I'm glad you noticed.
There won't be any more problems unless Mr. Wright has any more objections about the second bedroom.
Oh, no. We proceed with that room as planned. I already agreed to him having his greenhouse and his vineyard and his stables. He may as well let me have this one thing.
We're only about halfway done, but the honest satisfaction on a client's face is enough for me to push through. Let's face it, in between my exasperations at Mr. Wright's antics and her, I've been burning my candles at both ends. I can't even close my eyes without seeing a dead girl's face. Dead girl. Dead. She's dead. I have to keep reminding myself that, burying my feelings as deep as they buried her body. 6 feet under. I shouldn't waste so much time on someone who's supposed to be gone. I wasted so many years thinking about her already. There should be no need to bother myself with the dead when I should be bothering myself with the living. Too bad the living are usually as complicated, if not more, than the ghosts of the past. Yes, we've had this conversation before. This is when Hana basically went, "Oh, Lucas with this couple," and said that she was a drunk and that he was never satisfied and blah blah blah, and asked Marianne, what do you think they should do?
But don't you have a party?
Yes. But Luke's just being a sweetie, you see. That friend he's visiting. He's having marital problems and he's just trying to cheer him up.
So we had this exact conversation when we were Hannah. It's even more complicated when the living in question is a pair of rich and famous socialites way past their honeymoon phase. and I've been somehow roped into being a relationship counselor.
They've been married for a long time and they've hit a... how do they say it? A rough patch. His wife has a drinking problem and can be very neglectful. The poor thing really does his best to be a good husband, but it's never enough for her.
Oh, and I forgot to mention, Marianne overheard Hannah and Luke talking about like having a family in their bedroom, and she basically deduced that Hannah is pregnant. So Marianne knows that she's pregnant as well.
Sometimes I think it's the years. Maybe it's been so long that they've lost that romantic spark. What do you think?
If I'm going to be completely honest, I need to ask. This is about you and Mr. Wright, isn't it?
Suppose it is. What would you tell me?
She's talking about like an opposite version of Hannah and Luke. Yeah, and it's also not true. She's just saying it to ask Marianne about the about what she thinks about the couple, to hide the fact that she's talking about her and Luke.
Then I tell you it's none of my business. I tell you that I don't want to meddle. But if the troubled husband with the neglectful wife asked me for my honest opinion, I'd say that he shouldn't base his happiness and his self-worth on someone else. Maybe he should try being independent for a while. See what it's like when he isn't trying to please someone else and doing things for himself. Everyone's supposed to be their own man or woman, right? A bit of breathing room never hurt anyone. We shouldn't let our fear control our lives.
Why she thinks a single woman like me would be the best source of relationship advice is beyond me. Still, I talk and answer to the best of my abilities. Without realizing it, I'm already pouring out a part of me that I thought were long gone. I'd like to believe my words will be of some help to Mrs. Wright. If I'm honest though, they are of some help to me, like some weight has been taken off my shoulders. Lorraine.
I really should handle what's left of the work.
You won't be attending the party? Oh, you really must, Marianne.
The weight of what happened to her hasn't left me yet, did it? Maybe.
I'll try to stay in chat. Maybe grab a few bites and a drink, but I can't be around for the entirety of the event. My apologies. Busy, busy, busy.
You must stay a while. I'd love for you to meet some of my friends, and they're ever so excited to meet you. You need to say hello to the Lees, at least. If it wasn't for them, I'd never even heard of you.
Maybe it's about time I changed that.
We'll see.
Hi, Dad Soy Boy. Good evening.
So, if I can be excused?
Certainly. You'll have to excuse me as well. I must attend to the party before any early birds arrive, because, believe me, they will throw a fuss if things aren't ready, even when they're not supposed to be here until an hour later.
Though I shouldn't dwell on the dead, I shouldn't just callously forget about them too. Saying that I have work left to do is an easy enough excuse to make. I know how other people see me. They see someone so obsessed with her craft that she would so easily miss things like a party for it. Outside the parlor, people hurry about here and there in preparation for the Wright's grand housewarming party. None spare me a glance as I slip past them, each working on their appointed roles and not daring to slack off while they work for what is probably the most powerful couple in Luxbourne. I make it into the kitchen with ease, the wine cellar being my final destination. The mirror is in the wine cellar. But when is a great task ever simple? Probably never. And this is a great task, isn't it? My greatest one yet that is worthy of being called a quest. I'm not acting as Marianne McCullough, the professional interior designer, when I chose to lie about being too busy for a party. I'm Marianne McCullough, a lawful neutral cleric with 9 points in wisdom and 8 in charisma. Just thinking of it like that makes it a bit cheesy. But it helps with the fear. I wonder if she's going to the basement because she knows that's where the mirror is and she wants to, like, face her fear or something. It helps overcome the insane thought that I'm actively seeking out that something that has been plaguing me for years. I might face my worst nightmare, or I might see nothing and find my self-imagined grand quest fall flat. Hi Nippy, good evening. Reload scores in D&D unless you changed it. While she's not playing D&D, she's playing druids and clerics or something like that. Or she just wants to see Lorraine again, yeah. And who would have thought that the gatekeeper to my final quest would be someone I thought would be a valuable ally?
Schnell! Hurry up, you snails! We are on a deadline and you are wasting my time!
Okay, I know I show you guys Link all the time right now, but I just want I want to let you know that he's using my hand as a pillow. My hand is stuck. I want you guys to know what I suffer through. What a terrible life I have. With all the hardship that comes with having a dog. The butler comes from the cellar and into the kitchen, tailed by a couple of others, people who I assume are most likely chefs and bartenders. He raises a brow, seeing me just standing there, by the hatch, by the trapdoor. It's almost as if he's going to throw me out for being in the kitchen without permission. But then, he motions for the others to disperse and familiarize themselves with their surroundings. Meanwhile, he continues to stand there, preventing entry into the darkness beyond.
What are you doing here, Fraulein? This is not the place for guests or in an architect right now. I request you leave.
I was just looking around for any last-minute things, yes?
Until Link wants to leave. See, that could be anything from 10 minutes to 6 hours.
Here, take a few bits to help ease your suffering, you poor thing. Twiggle-love, twiggle-love.
I'm glad you realize how hard this is for me, and thank you for the bits. I have a tough life. I really do.
Yes, you have been doing that a lot. Looking around, snooping about. Now is not the time for such things. If you're not careful, people might think you are up to something.
Nice. Nice. 100% they did that on purpose. The look he gives me as he says this is almost chilling. If life was a game book, he'd probably be the true neutral warlock guarding the treasure room. That it takes some of your tough life. If it meant I get to cuddle with Link, it does mean that you get to cuddle with Link. He accepts cuddles from everyone. What's happening with Link? He's using my hand as a pillow, which means I am stuck. Oh, oh, oh! Oh no, I'm sorry I put the camera on you. I am so sorry.
Just shows how professional you are that you were able to carry on through all this.
I know, it's a really tough job. It makes my job way, way harder. And yet, I keep doing it. Thank you for acknowledging it, and thank you for the bits. Wouldn't be able to play this game just because of the voice acting. There might be a setting for that? I mean, you can turn off the voice acting, I guess. Just turn all of the character volumes down. That's a thing. Yeah. Stop bitching. With Alistair when he gets invaded by Yorkshire Terriers in RimWorld. He still gets flustered. Aww. The personal character volumes for each character. Yeah, I don't know why they do that. Maybe it's like if you find Hana super, super annoying, you could just turn her off, I guess. I guess they did know that, or I don't know. I don't know why they did it. I have no clue. A difficult opponent to beat with 9 points in wisdom and 8 in dexterity.
Well, I'm not done yet. I actually need to go into the wine cellar. Just need a quick go at the place. So just don't mind me. I'll be out of your hair soon enough.
Go outside, enjoy the party. Bask in the praise and adulation they will no doubt shower you with when the madam speaks highly of you. Surely you've had enough of this stuffy old kitchen by now. You do not want to cause trouble. Both the bratwurst and Hannah want this to be perfect. It would be a disservice and disrespect to toe out of line and risk it being anything otherwise. And more importantly, I will be blamed for any failure that happens tonight.
His intervention almost turns me away. Maybe this is a sign that I'm not meant to seek Lorraine out. But
Please, It's really important.
What choice have we made earlier that affected this?
15 minutes. 10 minutes. Any longer and I'll pull you out of there myself. The Bratwurst will be furious if he thinks anyone is touching his precious wine without his permission.
Thank you. This seriously means a lot.
He steps aside begrudgingly. At this point, looks like there's no turning back. You hate this butler? Wow, what a wine cellar. Holy shit. Damn. Yes, Snippy. Yes, mister. Something about him just annoys me. Fair enough. This is terrifying. The cellar greets me ominously as I descend. Also, is that the mirror? Because at first glance, I thought that was a door and that it opened up to like this giant dungeon. But I think that might be the mirror. Why would they place it like that? The space feels smaller, with a lot more bottles lining the wall compared to before, and knowing what might be waiting for me here makes things worse. The mirror that had been moved from the study is my goal. I did not return to it after my initial discovery, but the thought of Lorraine, how much I want to see her again, even if it's just for one more time, keeps coming back to mind.
This isn't a wine cellar. This is a wine warehouse.
Right? It's gigantic. Thank you for the bits. As I walk through the cellar, I have to stop and I feel something crunch beneath my feet. Whatever few bottles were left behind here are nothing but glass under my heels. Perhaps dropped by one of the many chefs and bartenders the butler had escorted through here before. And it made a downright mess, with red slick pooling from the remnants of a good drink. With how dark this place is, a person with a dark enough imagination can easily mistake it for blood. I can't help but think it is, despite the easy, logical explanation that had come to my mind, only because of what I'm about to do. It's merely a momentary distraction as I continue to the end of the cellar, where the mirror stands. They were planning to build a vineyard, yes. Can't take Link off. No, I didn't say anything. He left on his own. He left on his own and I didn't say anything. He's allowed to do what he wants. And if you guys want to leave me because of it, there's nothing I can do to stop you. Propped up on a far wall, it gleams innocently while pretending to be a simple and ordinary mirror. How morbid to think that this thing can show a person their deepest, most desperate desires, and then twist it to an image so dark. They're throwing a lot of Harry Potter references right now. The way the butler said, people might think you're up to something, and then this? I'm just saying, they were clearly inspired by Harry Potter for this particular part. Joey, thank you so much for that raid. Thank you very, very much. I hope you had a fantastic stream. That's very kind of you to raid us. Appreciate it. Hi, Galaxy Loop. How are you doing? How is your stream? I'm gonna choose to let that slide. Yeah, you missed Mr.'s chemistry lessons and his dad jokes and puns. It was an adventure. But hello, how are you guys doing? Joey, how was your stream? I'm glad to see you. You did miss a lot, yeah. And we all know chemistry better now, so, you know, that's things that would be useful to know for your test. That's tomorrow, by the way. Good luck. That's what I had seen that day. Though I heard Lorraine many times, I had only seen her here within its frame. I wonder if people have discovered it before. How many were wasted away in front of it, enamored, and how many were frightened away by what they saw? Yet as I stand before it now, Nothing. I can barely see my own reflection in this darkness.
How does this even work? Mirror, mirror on the wall? Something? Anything?
Nothing. Touching its surface doesn't make it magically activate or anything like that. There's no sudden surge of power, and I'm not suddenly granted sight. It stays what it is. A mirror. Was Lorraine's appearance in a mirror all some sort of fever dream? Am I really that burdened with guilt and despair that my mind would eat itself in my stress and have me hallucinate such things? Do we know it better though? You better. Spyro always good times? Glad to hear that. Spyro tips. See, I don't have any Spyro tips, so I'm glad you have someone who can give you that. The game is going really good, Galaxy. We're about 15 or so hours into this game, and I love it so much. It's been a long time since I was this into a game, and I'm loving every minute of it. It's crazy. Either way, just going here on some crazed obsession for a girl long gone must warrant me a trip to the doctor. Already, I feel ill. After a few more minutes, in the hopes that something would change, I turn around to leave. I can just go back upstairs like nothing ever happened. Perhaps drop by the party for something. Then go home and collect myself. I was very scared to offend both of you. What? You say that as if we are both easily offended. Just 30 more hours to go. Yeah, for those that are unaware of visual novels, they are really long games. They're really long games. This is on average 40 hours, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not always the fastest player of games. I know, it's shocking, but it is true. Besides, Mrs. Wright is expecting me, and I'm...
Going to leave me again then, are you?
That's Lorraine. That's Lorraine. Accurate. You don't believe that I'm slow at playing games? I know it's hard to believe. Yeah, thank you. I'm gonna forget that. 2 is just a very sensitive number for both redheads I happen to know from Norway. I wonder why. Wonder if there's some choice we could not go there at all. What? Yeah, here's the thing. When we convinced the butler to let us down there was a story update. Which meant that he let us go down here because of something that happened in the past, some choice that we made, and I don't know what choice that was. And I don't know if there was anything we could have done that would have had him refuse to let us down. I don't know. I stop in my tracks, but I don't turn back. As much as it pains me, I don't look back. Thank you, Joey. If I'm just hearing her again, desperately delusional, and I look back to see nothing, I don't want to give myself false hope. But when I feel fingers around my wrist pull at me, I look back in shock. My first thought is, how in God's name is this possible? And the second is, Lorraine. Happy to see cool shirts on this stream now. Yeah, you're not gonna be allowed to complain about my shirts anymore. We're gonna get down there anyway? Okay, cool. So this is Lorraine? Her hands are cold.
Are you that mad at me that you're just going to ignore me, Marianne?
I don't know what to say, and I can only stare at her in wonder. She stands there in the mirror with only her arms extended outwards for my sake. I look at the hand still holding my wrist, and when she sees me looking at it, she moves it so that our hands are intertwined, fingers weave together. Seeing her there and feeling her touch meant I'm not crazy, though however impossible and unexplainable this all is to me right now. Just takes my breath away. Pulling her out from there is so tempting, I can imagine doing so with ease. We can be together again, Lorraine and Marianne, like nothing had ever happened. Lovely Sandwich, thank you so much for following. Appreciate it. Literally only said something once, but still. I never forgot. I don't know, Skibbles. I don't know. But that would be all a great big lie, wouldn't it?
What? Tack out your tongue? Don't just look at me like that. Say something.
Even if this thing were some magic portal that could bring back the dead, that doesn't erase anything. Just looking at her, still a young teenager while I'm already a grown woman, it serves no other reason than to break the illusion that blinds me. I've seen her twice now, always behind the mirror. If this is real, if this isn't some delusion, then why can she only exist behind the glass?
Yeah. You have no idea how happy I am to see you. It's been so long.
You don't look happy.
I really am happy. But at the same time, I can't help but think about what happened.
So for those that don't know, they went to a Catholic school and Marianne was bullied by all the other kids, and Lorraine was the only person who stood up to her and who was her friend. And Lorraine admitted to her that she had feelings for Marianne, and while Marianne had feelings for her too, she had sort of been brought up with this idea that that's sinful, and so she didn't want to go down that path, and Lorraine was so hurt by that she ended up committing suicide. And Marianne keeps seeing Lorraine now, and she keeps seeing the ghost as Lorraine. And it's not very pleasant.
And what does that mean? What are you saying?
She gives me this peculiar look, and before my eyes, she moves to step out of the mirror. In turn, I wrench my hand from her and take a step back, almost as if I'm afraid.
I don't know how this is possible. But whatever this is, it isn't real. You can't be real.
I'm right here, aren't I? What other proof do you need?
No. I see you. I hear you. I feel you. But even with all that, you can't be real. You just can't. I saw your body. I helped bury you. You're dead.
A deep hurt crosses her face, and it just breaks my heart in two seeing her wear that expression. Oh.
Burying me wasn't the only thing you did. Don't you dare lie.
Don't let Lorraine, just because someone didn't return your feelings, it's nothing to kill yourself over it. I think it's a little more complicated than that. While I agree with you, Saima, I just think that was probably not the only reason. She probably had a bunch of different problems on her own, and that sort of pushed her over the edge. Games are starting to get way more horror stuff now. Yeah, it's not just happy, 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 suddenly see a ghost, happy, 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 see a ghost. It's more ingrained with like the horror theme right now, and I love it.
But I'm going to be the bigger woman, aren't I? Let bygones be bygones. I'll forgive you, as long as you stay with me, Marianne.
Oh, that smile.
That's why you came down here, right? To find me?
That was the plan. I came down here looking for her, for closure. Loli, this is it's a visual novel horror game. It starts off with we play as all the different characters, and it starts off with Isabella finding a letter in this mansion. And basically this mansion is haunted and it spawns this ghost, and everyone is now cursed and sees this ghost. And we play through all of the characters and try to make everyone survive. Every character has different endings, and they can end with them living, dying, or getting possessed. I don't know if everyone can get possessed, but we've had Hana got possessed. Hi Olivia, good evening. But this isn't just closure. This is something else entirely. I didn't think I would be forced to make such a choice. Do I leave or do I stay? Here's the thing, if we stay, I'm pretty sure Marianne dies. I'm pretty sure I want to stay in a lot of ways, but if she stays, she's gonna die or get possessed. I'm like 90% sure. If you stay, there will be trouble. And if we go, there will be double. No, we have to move on. We have to move on. It's the only thing that we can do. If we stay, she's literally a ghost that wants to kill us, so. Already made your choice, that's true. Hi Granny, good evening. What other reasons do you need not to run? True. True. Back from doing gay stuff. There was cake. I like cake. I'm a big favor of cake. What kind of cake? Tell us more about this cake. I'm also concerned that Lorraine is gonna go, oh no, that's another thing, yeah. I'm concerned that Lorraine is gonna go, how dare you move on? And get really crazy angry and kill us for the heck of it. Because she's so hurt. Oh no! Can you hear that joke going down the pipe as soon as you said the first word? Oh no, what if she does that? What if that's a thing? And if we stay, we sort of make up and she forgives us. But if we leave, she gets so angry that she kills us. Oh no, I'm second guessing everything. Oh, I'm second guessing everything. We can't romance Hana regardless. No, we have to move on. No. We have to move on. Closure. That's all I came here for. Whatever this is, it might as well just be a devil's trick. And I might as well get some use of it, right? I say nothing at first for fear of angering whatever phantom this is. I take Lorraine's hand and bring it up to my lips, pressing a kiss to her knuckles. She takes it as some sort of invitation to pull me along, to step back into the mirror until only her arm is extended again.
I should have been more honest back then, both to you and myself. I know it's too late. I'm sorry. But
the thought of being with a dead girl did not agree with me. Not one bit.
I can't stay with you.
Oh.
So what? You're going to leave me for some old trophy wife?
Oof.
That's it, isn't it? You're going to leave poor Amy Lorraine and go after the next rich, pretty blonde that you see.
Oh, my heart! This is a mistake.
All these years, guilt has been my driving force. I felt so guilty for what I did.
She thinks she can guilt me into being complacent, but she doesn't realize otherwise as I pull my hand from her. And going by the look of anger on her face, an anger that runs cold, she did not like the fact that I'm not some puppet on a string. Had she chosen her words carefully, I would have accepted whatever punishment Lorraine chooses to give me. Guilt had ran my life, and it might as well have ended it. Because I deserved it.
But what I did to me. The blood in my hands is mine, not yours.
Whoever or whatever this shadow is, my gut tells me that she's not Lorraine. Yet I keep talking as if she is.
I broke your heart, not your neck.
Ugh.
Don't you dare deny it! It was your fault!
Oh, my heart is breaking.
Because I loved you more than I dare to admit? Yes, that was my fault. But I never meant to hurt you like that.
Despite my words, no matter how sincere they are, she appears angry, enraged in fact. It's been years since I last saw that face, and even now, the memory of it is still etched deeply in my mind. The hurt, the tears, and the hate spilling from her eyes that day, the moment I rejected her. Rejected myself for who I am. And she definitely will hate me for what I'm about to do next. To my left, a wine rack. And from there, I take a bottle and pray to all the saints I can remember. For all my sins. For every hurtful word I've uttered. For what I have driven her to do that day, what I forced her into.
What are you doing?
I do it without thinking twice. Quickly, before I can hesitate, I grab a bottle and send it straight towards the mirror. Shards of the bottle and the mirror are sent flying everywhere as Lorraine's screams echo in the cellar. Bitter. Searing. Like every wounding accusation she hurled at me. They've never left me, I doubt they ever will. But with this, I can move away from them, from her, live my life as I should, free from this burden. Her burden. Because the Lorraine I know, the real one, the person I loved, will never want me carrying this to my death. As the screaming dies down, I can't help but mutter weakly.
It's done. It's done.
Hi Fari, good evening. Shower time, then soon bedtime. Aw, Joey. Enjoy. Thank you for being here, though. Thank you for the raid. Yeah, so these two, they went to school together, and, they were... Lorraine was in love with Marianne, and Marianne was in love with Lorraine, but Marianne was too scared to admit her feelings, so she rejected her, and it drove Lorraine to commit suicide.
Oh, Lorraine. Forgive me, Lorraine.
And Marianne never got over that. I take some time to compose myself, breathing in and out, stamping down on the tremor still racking my hands, straightening out my jacket and fixing my hair. All a weak attempt at returning myself to someone resembling my normal self. This would probably be easier to do so with a mirror, but I likely won't be able to stand looking at one for a very long time.
Well now, I should probably go back up there. Party to attend, rich socialites to do business with, and food to eat.
Hi Chuck, good evening. It's a horror game, first and foremost.
Mrs. Wright will be happy if I make some time for it anyway.
It's a visual novel, but it's not, I wouldn't call it a weeb game, no. Yet one last time to the shattered glass beneath my feet.
I'm sorry, Lorraine. May you see God's light on the path.
Turning around to leave, and for good this time, the uneasy smile on my face falls as I see Lorraine, whole and well.
Come on, Mac. You really didn't think it would be that easy, did you? You get bonus points for trying. But you should know an 8 in charisma is not enough to turn undead.
She advances towards me, backs me against the wall. I can't even reach for another wine bottle without putting myself within her reach. Despite my earlier bravado, I didn't think she'll be able to exist at all without the mirror. Can you blame me though? It's not like I'm an expert on the supernatural.
That's not... You shouldn't be...
What? After the mirror? Did you think just moving on will erase what you did to me? You're nothing but a murderer, Marianne. A murderer!
Stay back. You're not real. Leave me alone. Stop. I'm trying to move on with my life, so why won't you let me? Please. Just get out of my head and leave me be.
I try to find an exit when there's a click. The next thing I know, I'm falling back into darkness. What? I fall on my back and a door slams shut behind me. What? In a daze, I look around warily and find myself in another room entirely. On the other side of the wall, some sort of secret passage perhaps, an underground tunnel that has me wary and frightened. It also proves that the oddities in the mansion's floor plans are a lot more than just little discrepancies. We don't know if she's dead. I don't think she's dead. No, not yet. I expect Lorraine to jump out at me from the darkness at any time. A breeze blowing through the tunnel has me relieved though at the idea that there's still a way to escape should that happen. This is way better than being trapped underground with only God knows what that was. A funny thought comes to mind as I start walking to where the exit might be. I think about how Mrs. Wright would be so disappointed if I didn't show up to the party. I imagine how furious Mr. Wright would be for breaking one of his wine bottles. Even Johann's reaction comes to mind, although I didn't really know with that guy. One thing's for sure, and that is that I will be calling Cam and Haruna for a drink as soon as I get out of here. That noise has me wary. A ghastly thing. A corpse of a woman leans on the wall. Her arms and limbs, almost every inch of her lithe body, is peppered with wounds and rotten flesh. And it's then that the putrid smell of blood and gore hits me.
Make some mental notes of this place for your Sims build, Kappa.
Underground dungeon, we'll keep that in mind. Making it so I don't even question how I missed it in the first place.
How long has this been here? Oh, that smell. Oh, you're a nasty one, aren't you?
I flinch as the thing twitches. And as soon as it opens its eyes and looks at me with a smile, there's nothing on my mind but horror. I break into a run. I try to keep running no matter how much my legs and feet scream at me to stop. I keep going even when I look back and see nothing of her anymore because I can still hear her. The scampering of her feet, the words she tries to form with her bloodied mouth, and the painful sounds of bones grinding against each other as she moves closer and closer to me.
How long are these damn tunnels?
There's a split second where I know that thing is right behind me, a strange sensation creeping over my limbs when her presence looms over me. And then suddenly, I can't even do anything before I'm yanked back by the hair and pulled back. Still, I struggle up until I'm thrown to the side like some ragdoll. I hit the ground on my side, and the musty smell of old hay that reaches me is my only indication that I'm still alive.
Please don't hurt me.
My body hurts and I keep my eyes shut tight, afraid of what might happen next.
What's wrong, Marianne? Are you really afraid of little old me?
Oh my god. There's only dread, seeing how she followed me even here. She looms over me, backs me further into the cell that I was thrown in.
Please. It's so cold. I don't want to be alone, Marianne. Why won't you stay with me? Why would you leave me? Why?
Jesus
what are you?
Lorraine turns and shifts into that thing from before. And with that same gruesome smile, grin, it takes a step forward towards the cell. Towards me. I barely scramble to my knees when the door to the cell slams shut and it just stands there, staring. Shouts for help ring in the tunnels, but none of them are coming from me. I'm more paralyzed and shocked by what is happening. Wait, what? Shouts for help ring out in tunnels, but none of them are coming from me? There are more people down here?
There are dozens of us.
Oh boy, thank you so much for following, Chuck. Appreciate it. My throat tightens at being fooled by the image of Lorraine at the thought of being trapped down here. So then, where?
Help me, oh, help me! Are you getting all this on camera?
Oh. Who are these guys? Daredevil students?
Yeah, but are you guys sure this is a good idea? We're breaking and entering here.
Hi, Dr. Degenerator. We're being trapped in a secret dungeon by a ghost.
Don't worry, the owners of this place haven't been here in a long time. Look at this thing, though. It has writing in blood like some cheesy 80s horror prop.
That's the letter.
I have an idea.
That's the letter.
Oh man, that's genius.
Hold up! Did they add the send this with 5 people or else?
What kind of butthead would even take this thing seriously? Maybe we can stick this in Rowan's backpack.
Do you think that
Flores kid would panic.
Do you think that it originally just said help me, help me, help me? Because that's been her signature. Her signature has been to just say help me. Did they add the send this to 5 people or else? Ooh. Hi Lars, good to see you. You came in at a good time.
What? Spit it out. Behind you!
There, in the corner of the cell, a digital camera comes flickering to life and a video has played back on the screen. Oh, this game, man. The animations are fantastic in this entire game. They're There's so much work put into the animations. It's crazy. It makes the whole mood just so much better. It was hard to even consider paying any attention to it when my life is on the line. But when the ghost doesn't move and the teenagers' mocking shouts of help me fill the cell, I just had to watch. And what I had seen, students judging by their Saint Coretta uniforms. They were holding...
That letter!
And that thing. The woman, she... Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Ugh. Just got her, my mind explode. It's an amazing game. It's such an amazing game. I'm going to quit to the main menu and I'm just gonna show you guys the gallery because this has everything. This has all the ghost animations, all the normal animations. This is a letter, by the way. This is the letter that they are referencing. It says, help me, help me, help me, help me. And at the bottom, it says, send this to 5 people or else. And that's what started this whole thing. That's how this whole thing started. And ever since, every single person... The premise of this game is that you play as all the characters. You play as all the main characters. And they all see the ghost because they're all cursed. And we don't know what this ghost is. We don't know what her purpose is, what she wants from us. And... oh my god, I have to say, this is one of those games, it's hooked me in so much. First chapter was kind of weak, but then it just got better and better and better. Yes, Akalia, St. Coretta is where Becca went to school. Yeah. 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 What if every time someone dies, one help me gets added to the letter? That could be. That could definitely be. I have no idea. So yeah, if you're into visual novels, and if you don't mind slow games with a lot of build-up, this is the game for you. It's so good. Okay, so now that was on the 28th. So that's here. And you also, since you play through all the characters, you don't play them in the same, like, chronological order. We're on the 28th right now with Marianne, and all the like major events get added to the journal. We've already played all the way to the 30th with other characters. So it's very satisfying to see the things that you've seen with other characters suddenly come together because you see it from a different perspective with someone else. I know I'm hyping up this game a lot, but honestly, I've enjoyed it so much and I would so recommend it. Where is she now? No! 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 That was the end! Oh no, that was how Marianne ends! Oh no! That can't be a good ending. That can't be a good ending for her. Unless, and here's my theory. Here's my theory, is that when we play as Luke, he's gonna go down to the wine cellar, and in some way, he's gonna find that secret tunnel, and he's going to find Marianne. Let me see how much it is on Steam. It's not super expensive. It was just on a sale. I don't think it is anymore. It's $20 on Steam. But there are sales regularly, so keep an eye out. Hi, Neka! Good to see you! Hype is very much achieved. Yes. So now we play as Rebecca, who we have been hating this entire game. Master's degree in education, major in European history. Likes stovies, reading in the library, going to the gym, cycling and jogging, lacrosse, lesson plans. It's just $8 for you without sale? Really? It says $20 for me. That's strange. Maybe they upped the price. I have no idea. I got it on a sale. Although of Scottish descent, she grew up in Luxbourne and even went to school in St. Goretti. Her parents were professors of European history and Southeast Asian history at Luxbourne University. They were often busy, and that forced Rebecca to be independent early on. Surrounded by books and instilled with a love of learning, she was a star pupil and was often called a teacher's pet for it. Her passion for academics led to a career in the industry. Her passion for academics leading to a career in the industry was to be expected of her. She came out of her shell in her high school years and started becoming the Spitfire she is now. Before then, Ashton was her only friend, though she found him aggravating at first. Independent and used to taking care of others, it was no surprise when she helped out the young foreigner who moves in next door. Hi, Clone! Good evening. Oh, that means we're... Oh, guys, we only have 3 chapters left. I don't want this game to end. This is how it begins, or so they say. With a gentle wind drifting through the wide open windows, muffled laughters and footsteps fading behind empty hallways, and the light kiss of the afternoon sun. Soon, there will be a call, a crossing of thresholds into the unknown. Maybe we're off to some grand adventure, or diving into another gripping mystery. One can't really tell. For all I know, a hero might even come and sweep me off my feet if I'm lucky.
That's not exactly a bad thing when you think about it.
The more I played Becca's segment, the more I disliked her. Oh no. This is far from one, isn't it? This was a weekend horror game, I remember. And I'm glad it's not anymore. A riveting tale, that is. October 21st. That's the first day. This is the first day of the entire game when we played as Isabella. The mild breeze, the faint murmurs, the warm rays painting every nook and cranny a fiery hue. They're all as real as they can get. As much as I want to write out a little tale of this, I'm far from someone who can. Fleeting fancies, that's what these are. Merely passing thoughts to occupy an idle mind while waiting for another busy workday to end. Then again, maybe in another life I am one. Who knows? But at present, what I have and what I've chosen to be? Well...
I won't last years here if I find teaching rowdy adolescents a tedious job, will I?
Admittedly, the whole affair isn't exactly as grand or exciting as I had imagined as a child. Me too, Saima. If I weren't so stubborn and too passionate about the whole idea, I probably would have quit a long time ago. But it's always the kids that make it worthwhile, isn't it? As if in agreement, as soon as my pen slides into a neat circle against the papers I'm grading, the final bell rings. Like a dam that has opened, students begin piling out into the hallways soon after. Can't do weekend horror only because you can't wait a whole week to rewatch it on YouTube. True! True. A little too accurate. For a short minute, I let the noise fill my ears, left my mind wander to a place far removed from all the hubbub. Okay, so it's the same day as Isabella's Caesar letter. Solitary moments like this have come few and far between lately. Even my own home hasn't been as quiet as I usually prefer. Though in hindsight, the entire place hasn't been the same either since Isabella moved in next door. And if her fussing over a minor cold last week tells anything, I might as well throw any idea of solitude out the nearest balcony, as long as she lives nearby. At the memory, my eyes automatically shift over the bottles sitting at the edge of my desk. A chuckle escapes from me as I reach for it, so this is after Isabella went and visits her at school.
A little ball of energy and enthusiasm. That's a big baby.
Mother hen, she calls me, and then says and does the same thing right after. It's not that I'm unused to being on the receiving end of other people's worries, or I feel any sort of apprehension over her fretting. If I'm to be completely honest, it's actually amusing how someone can be childlike one minute and then act like a responsible adult the next. But there's a dissonance there, both in her actions and words. Although she may not look like it, may not say anything, may not lose her chair one way or another, I know these troubles have weighed down on her lately. Her face says it all, that big numpty. If she thinks I won't notice, she's got another thing coming from her. That's how she's always been. I do understand that part, loud and clear. It's just that I really rather not pass another burden onto her.
Or become one myself.
You like Becca? See, here's the thing though. We've seen Becca as other characters, and we don't like her. She's very annoying, she's very judgmental, and she tries to be the mother to like be in charge of everyone all the time. I don't like her. Aren't I supposed to be the one taking care of them? Though I guess that's simply one of those things people eventually grow away from, once you've all started leading different lives. Not completely different, I hope. Somehow, that thought makes me feel uneasy. Thankfully, before stranger ideas can take root in my head, a faint buzzing comes from my bag, cutting through the rest of my thoughts. A small frown forms on my lips when the screen lights up and an unknown number flashes. For a long second, my thumb hovers over the answer button. Even the voice that responds, "I do accept the call," is wholly unfamiliar.
Hello?
Oh, goodness. Finally, it connects. Hello? Is this Miss Gales? Rebecca Gales.
Also, is it just me or is the music so much louder than it's been every other time?
Yes, Yes, speaking. Who is this?
Oh, sorry. Rose Cooper. Briar Realty Corporation.
Briar Realty?
My frown deepens as I straighten from my chair. Something in her tone, despite sounding remarkably friendly and light, doesn't sit quite well with me. The rigid pause that follows doesn't help ease the tension that suddenly descended either.
Miss Cooper?
Yes. Things are a bit busy on my end. I apologize. I'm not certain if Isabella has mentioned anything before, but we're working together on a property at the moment, and...
The Armengard Mansion, yes. She said something about that earlier. Is there a problem?
This is about Isabella, actually.
She wastes no time relaying everything. The details she provided are admittedly a bit vague, but enough to get me to get a gist of what happened. It isn't the bad sort I'm expecting, though still worrying. Especially with words panic attack and pale looking a bit sickly woven together in one foreboding sentence. But as quickly as it surfaces, I stomp down on the urge to demand answers right there and then. Now isn't the proper time for useless questions. I'll find out soon enough regardless. To Miss Cooper's credit, she neither hesitates nor falters all throughout. There's some sort of comfort in knowing Isabella has someone like her to guide her, though not as much as I would have liked. After all, this is Isabella we're talking about. What are the chances she just said a bunch of excuses so she won't be sent home? High. Very high. Oh, she's so gonna hear it this time.
You were listed as one of her emergency contacts, so I thought it'd be best you know about this.
How is she? Is she doing okay?
I had her take a break for now, but honestly, I'd feel better if someone were to pick her up and take her home for some rest. Anthem's a fair distance from Luxborn. I really don't want her going off on her own. I'd do it myself, but oh, you know how it is today. Big day. People everywhere until the open house ends. I'm really sorry to ask this of you, Miss Gales. I know you're busy.
Oh, no, it's all good. I was just about to leave from work. I hope to leave early today anyway. A few minutes ahead wouldn't hurt.
Career Day and Sports Day posters are back. The Career Day poster is my favorite. Just look how ridiculous it is.
I can be there in a few, 30, 40 minutes tops. Is that all right?
More than fine, Miss Gales, thank you. We're supposed to be here until... Oh, excuse me. 1 moment, please. Yes, ma'am.
The faint hum of conversations echoes from her end. It sounds as though the place is buzzing with more people than you'll expect from a regular open house. I was skeptical at first. The house is old, not to mention its inconvenient location in Luxborn's outskirts. Who wants to live in a place almost an hour's drive away from the comforts of a city? But from what little I can hear, it appears Isabella has every right to be optimistic about this sale. If I didn't understand why she was so adamant refusing my offer of help before, I think I do now. To some degree.
We'll be resuming the tour soon. Yes, thank you.
Career Day man is the ghost, we just didn't know it. He's been with us from the start. Could be. I mean, I'm not ruling out any theories at this point.
Sorry about that. I really need to get this thing going. Lord knows how I'll salvage the situation here. It shouldn't be anything complicated, but still, clients. They can be difficult when they want to be.
Can confirm.
Anyway, just look for me when you get here, alright? I shouldn't be too hard to miss.
No problem. Thanks for letting me know about this. Just make sure Isabella stays put, please. Heaven knows how stubborn that girl can be.
She was picked up by Ash though, right?
Oh, believe me, I know.
Because Ash was there. Ash was at the mansion at the open house, not because of the open house, but because he's investigating the rights.
Don't worry about it. I'll have a few of our staff keep an eye on her for me until you get here.
That's all I'm asking. I appreciate it.
The whole thing ends on a surprisingly pleasant note. If only the same can be said for the news she brought. I allow a brief minute to pass to ease whatever tension has lashed itself firmly on my nerves. But no matter how much I wish for it, my mind stubbornly refuses to do so. My hands are unsteady against the papers I pretend to arrange after. Lucid thoughts, every single ounce of it grimmer than the others, grows with each passing second that I linger. Something about this whole thing, along with the sudden unease and nagging worry, screams off. Wrong. This isn't the riveting tale I hoped to step into today. Even on a rush, getting everything in order before leaving takes nearly a good quarter hour. By the time I make it out of the classroom, the commotion has already died down, dwindling to mere echoes and distant laughters. From the nearby room, melodies from a rehearsing band drift freely into the air, filling the almost empty hallway with their warm, lively tunes. Any other day, I'd stop, bask in the music, and enjoy what little peace it brings. Not today, however. My steps are brisk and sure as I march to Edward Hall's exit. The sooner I confirm Isabella's okay, the sooner I can shake off this niggling feeling. For one reason or another, that single call, of all possible things, has thrown everything off kilter. I'd rather this be over with as quickly as possible. So much that I nearly barrel over a student in my haste. Though perhaps, it's really the other way around. Twiggy leg. We're working on getting Twiggy knee as an emote. And I'm super excited for it. Kylie! When I look down, a set of eyes, bright and hopeful, stare back at me. Her arms are wrapped around my waist like a vice, and at my attention, a grin spreads over her face. Isn't kind of right makes me laugh. Oh, Kylie's covering him now. Kylie. Damn, Kylie. Welcome back, Simon. Everything is connected. Yup. Hi, Ive. Good evening. So we met Kylie when we were playing as Zack. He saw Kylie in the park and they got to talking, and he basically saw Kylie as the ghost. Then we found out that the Wrights know her in some way, that she regularly visits the Wrights, and that's one of the reasons they want a children's room. We love you too, Ive. Kids always getting in the way, right? Why is she not talking? Why are you not talking? I'm gonna restart the game because I think something is broken. The game does this sometimes. Because that was definitely supposed to be voice acted.
Oh my god.
Indy! Indy, thank you so much for that raid. Thank you very, very, very much. Appreciate that a lot. How is your stream? Are you happy to finally be back at playing Dreamcast stuff? Good to see you. At least the characters aren't vibrating around like Dead Space. Yeah, that was... It's not voice acted! Why is it not voice acted? Aww, I'm so disappointed. Hi Hamshi, good evening. Yeah, Joey, I think you would like Indie Kebab a lot. You should definitely go check him out. Hi Marister, good evening. Good to see you guys. How are you all doing? Hi Pauls. I'm intoxicated and I'm not responsible for my actions. On a weekday? I can't blame you. I'm not any better. How's your stream though? Hi, fellow mellow fellows, everyone. I love saying that. It's a lovely thing to say, and I'm so glad that the community is called Mellow Fellows because of that. On Valentine's Day. How dare you get intoxicated on Valentine's Day? No, I don't blame you. If I didn't have school, I would probably do the same. Don't worry.
Hello, Kylie.
So, appropriately enough for Valentine's Day, we're playing a visual novel. There's not too much romancing. We turned down the one opportunity we had to sleep with someone, and there are more ghosts than romance in this game. What can I say? It's that kind of Valentine's Day, isn't it?
You know, you aren't supposed to run into people like that.
Why is she not voice acted? She was voice acted before. She was definitely voice acted during Zack's chapter. That's so strange. She loosens her hold on me, but not a hint of guilt or regret appears on her. If anything, it seems the remark only amused her. A smile appears on my face before I can help it, matching the one on her own.
Just remember not to do it again, alright?
Sometimes
you
getting-
could get hurt.
Sometimes getting intoxicated is the only way to get through Valentine's Day? Yes. Had your mug on stream today? Aw, Joey! Thank you! It's very kind of you. She's not even listed on the character volume thing, and none of them are turned down. That's so strange. Oh, there we go.
You sound like my mama when she's scolding Rowan, Miss Pink.
She's so cute.
I'm sure your mama only means well. I know she'll be worried sick if one of you were to get hurt.
She's so cute, come on.
Where's your brother anyway? Aren't you two supposed to be heading home now?
Rowan said he's got some stuff he needs to do before we go. I think he's taking too long. But he promised to buy me jelly babies today if I keep what he's doing a secret from Mama and Papa.
Oh, what is he doing? Best kind of Valentine's Day is a spooky, scary one. Agreed. No, her voice is super cute. How dare you guys?
Any chance you'll tell Miss Pink about it?
She shakes her head, both her hands going to her mouth as if to keep a precious secret from spilling out.
I made a promise. He said it's for Tia Luke.
Luke, Tio. Is that like uncle? Does anyone know? Is that like, I don't know. Hang on. That's like some kind of relationship between two people, right? This little body's possessed? No. That was just Zack being, that was just Zack being cursed. It's uncle. Okay, cool, thanks. So they call Luke and Hana for uncle and aunt, basically. What does she sound like she's talking into a cup? Because she took her hands in front of her mouth to keep her secret. Pretty sure you say how dare you to me once a day. When was it that we saw the random person dead in news? I can't remember. It was so weird because they just sort of glossed over that random person dying, and I don't even know if they wrote it in the journal. I don't know if that was even a thing. If this was Rose, it was after that. I don't know if that was even a thing in the journal.
Oh, something like a gift?
Like a deal. Tio promised to take him somewhere cool when he's old enough. Rowan's gonna prove he's a grown-up.
Laughter slips free from my lips. The teacher in me wants to give whoever this Tio is a reprimand for bringing about this kind of behavior in children. But if both Suarez kids are so fond of him, there shouldn't be anything to worry about, yes? At any rate, they're nothing but well-behaved, both Kylie and her brother. Hi, Irons. Yeah, this game is very different now. It's taken a turn and it escalated and it's fantastic. Rowan, the eldest, may have an occasional odd streak in and out of class, but their parents taught them well. I see no reason to cast any suspicion of bad behavior on them. Yeah, we're playing as Becca now. Belle's boss? Was that Belle's boss? Rose, I mean? I didn't even, like, take note of the name because it was just this random person. Was it John? It's annoying that's not in the journal. You went to the movies? What movie did you see? Was it worth it?
As long as it isn't anything dangerous, all right?
It's not. Cross my heart. My drawings are a lot prettier than what he's doing anyway. Tio said so. Do you want to see? I drew one earlier at class.
Is that why you're here?
Not really. I was gonna show it to my friend first. But since it's you, I'm sure she wouldn't mind if you see it before she does.
Oh no. I can't stay right now, Kylie.
Her face falls immediately after the words are out. A small part of me feels responsible for that crestfallen look. But as much as I want to stay a little longer, there's another place I need to be at right now. Aww. Cold Pursuit. Ooh, cool. I think that will be an Ash's segment. Yeah, probably. Yeah. Yeah, I remember the news segment, but they never said anything about it. You're most likely right that we're gonna see more about it in Ash's part. Frankly, another child to look after. Taking both of her hands, I kneel in front of her and muster the most rueful smile I can give. How many people have died? Only Rose and that random person on the news. We ended Marianne's segment with her being trapped in a dungeon, and we have no idea how that's gonna go for her. And yeah, several people from Briar Realty are missing, but we don't know anything more about those. In 2 messages saying that my reports got Blizzard to take actions. Nice. See, you gotta report people. You gotta report people, and it's so nice when that actually leads to consequences. At her age, I'm quite sure she already understands what I'm about to say before they're even out. Report you, Indy, for what? Being a cam girl on Twitch? Because I will. I will. But remarkably, she doesn't look away or pout as I'm expecting her to.
I'm sorry. You know what? Rowan has a class with me on Monday around this time. Why don't you drop by again next week? After class? I'll even make sure to wait for you. It's just that I absolutely must leave now. My friend had an accident earlier, and I'm the only one she has here.
What about her mama and papa?
Oh!
Her family lives really far from here, I'm afraid. Do you remember where Asia is? The southeast part? That's where they are.
Aww. Her eyes immediately light up at my question. Just like that, I know I've earned the girl's forgiveness.
Oh, just like Takako.
Who?
My friend. She said she used to live there, only just a little higher than southeast. But she hasn't come home in a long time, so she doesn't remember much about it anymore. Melody says it's weird I talked to her, but I think she's just shot.
Break progress off. Break now until I have to leave. You have a break until we have to leave? Why not just leave now? That sounds weird. Stop Twiggie from awing at the demon child, but she's so cute! Come on!
They could be good friends too! Don't you think so, Miss Pink?
Come on!
Maybe if you introduce them properly, they will be.
That's what I think.
Yes.
Takako's just lonely. If she makes more friends, she won't be anymore.
She's so wise too.
Is your friend like that too?
A little, possibly. To be honest, sometimes I can't tell with her.
It's what I do. It is. I can't deny that. After all, Isabella has always been the kind to hold a smile, even when things have taken a turn for the worse. 5 years, and one think it'll be enough time to know a person. But when you consider it, come to think of it, all these years, I've never, not even once, seen her cry. Not over a trivial matter, or when things are tough. Just until a certain time, and don't take a break all day until now. Oh, that's like a pet peeve of mine, when companies force you to stay to a certain time, even if you're not doing anything. Like, if you finished all your work for today, there's literally no point in keeping you at work for any other reason than to just make it look like everyone's productive. And it's just a waste of everyone's time.
Okay, you can go to her. I'll just show you my drawing next time.
Thank you. Remind me to buy you a huge glass of parfait, alright?
No, I'll get a stomachache. Chicago says so.
Chicago says so.
A small one is okay.
I'll remember that. Say hi to your friend for me.
She's her whole career in life doesn't remember how time clocks work. But you get my point, though. Like, I know that's how it is. I've been through that myself.
I'm sure she'd love to meet you too. See you, Miss Pink.
I think having a system where if you do whatever you need to do throughout the day, you should be able to go home slightly earlier one day, because it doesn't affect how much you actually work, you know? If you now have half an hour where you're literally just on break before you're allowed to go home, then that's just a waste of everyone's time. I know that's not how things realistically are in today's work life, but that's how it should be. And it's dumb.
I'll see you later, Kylie.
London Bridge is falling down.
She doesn't look back or wait for any sort of goodbye from me.
London Bridge is falling down, my fair lady.
Okay. You ate your dinner too fast? What did you have? These are the important questions. With a song and an extra spring in her steps, she bounds across the corridor with as much spirit only a child her age can have. As if the conversation is never taking any downhill turn for her at all. As if there isn't a single thing to worry about in the world. Pizza? Turkish pizza? How is Turkish pizza different from other types of pizza? Use that time every day to watch stream. Aw, Skipples. Got popcorn for the stream and I ate it too fast? Oh no! Everyone's eating too fast. Because it was made in Turkey. That's the only difference. Oh. Well, I'm like a tiny bit disappointed. Spicy chipotle fried fake chicken wrap. That sounds really, really, really good. That sounds super good. It's pizza, what do you expect? Like different toppings. Like in Sweden, they have banana pizza. Something like that. Like, put something special on your pizza. No more pizza? No, Nippy. All the pizza. All the pizza. No! No yes to putting bananas on pizza. That's not a thing. Don't do that. A donut topping ends up being super oily. Oily? It's not a bad thing on pizza. Oily is not a bad thing. Cause if you think about a good pepperoni pizza, and if you imagine like the pepperoni curling up while it's cooking, and then it has like these it turns into like this little bathtub of oil. It's so good. It's so good, I'm just saying. Skip dinner and I'm hungry at 3 AM. Oh. Byproduct sickness has made everything taste like ash. Oh no, that's not good. Ketchup and french fries on pizza. That sounds amazing, Ive. That sounds amazing. What are you talking about, Indy? I don't understand. I don't know what you're talking about. Not long after, she disappears behind a door, leaving behind strains of an old familiar rhyme lingering in the air. Fries and banana on a pizza. Have you ever tried fries on pizza, though? Get the right kind of pizza, and it's amazing. It's the same with putting fries on your hamburger. That's really, really, really good, too. Carefree. Unbidden. Untroubled moments like this, I envy her. And as I resume my hurried pace, a tiny whisper at the back of my mind wishes the same could be said for me and my own worries. You get all you can eat. What? What's wrong now? 16 slices? Holy shit. Do a pizza with a baked-in burger? You Swedes are weird. You're really weird. Skibbles. I'm just saying, you know when you have pepperoni pizza, right? And the pepperoni sort of folds up like this. What happens then is there's like this little pool of oil like in the pepperoni. It's like pepperoni oil. That's pretty good. I don't know what else to tell you. What you mean it is amazing? Thank you, Joey. Thank you for backing me up. Pizza needs more kebab on it. Does it? Indy, you're the only kebab I like. So, yeah. Turkish sausage. I like sausage on pizza. I like sausage in general. It was too much pizza. 16 slices though, that's... you said 16 slices. That's ridiculous. That's so much pizza. Oh, that's so much pizza. Can't believe it. I couldn't physically eat that much. Very thin slices. It has to be. Has to be. Luxbourne might be a small city, but it's no stranger to hellish rush hour traffic. But surprisingly, getting out of the city today proves much more of a breeze than a hassle. A relief considering how none of my calls to Isabella have made it through. Either the reception is really bad over there, or she's ignoring them on purpose.
No judgment, but you describe this oil boat with the skill of a wordsmith. The game is rubbing off on you.
Thank you, Skibbles. I try. Remember, I used to write things. Not that that has helped me in any way, but... The rest of my drive passes without much incident as soon as I'm out of the busy streets. In less than 30 minutes, the mansion looms ahead of me. She's already been picked up by Ash. For all the fuss Isabella made about the house, it remains a thing of beauty. Unlike Luxbourne, the estate in the nearby Anselm village stands at its completely opposite. Living and breathing the songs of the old, whispers of a once booming, having lingering in the air. Oh, once booming haven, sorry. Words are difficult, okay. Contemporary conveniences aside, it's a place I'm glad modernization hasn't wholly touched.
It's just a shame the locals know more of the silly hearsay than the history itself. If I could only knock some sense into these people!
She's a history teacher, remember? Sadly, complaining is all I can afford to do. As much as I want to give them a piece of my own mind, it isn't why I'm here. I don't think these witch types will appreciate getting a lecture from me either. I have as much business with them as they have with me. With a heavy sigh, I give myself one last second to take the scenery in before heading up the main entrance. Most of the guests are already heading out. Though some still linger, it's mainly just to take photos of the house facade or its various rooms. I pause for a moment, scanning the small crowd gathered at the foyer, looking for any sign of a familiar ponytail among the seas of hats and heads. Traveling to Boston this weekend, having best place. Egg sandwich, they put on a donut-like sandwich like jalapeno, strawberry jam, and hash browns. What? That sounds so strange. That sounds really, really, really strange. No other houses people want to hang out at. No, they have hanged out briefly in like people's apartments. But that's it. Does it pay extra for the ghost, or will that be complimentary? It comes with a mirror, apparently.
No sign of her.
Thing is, Ash already took her home. No sign of the other staff or Miss Cooper either. I can certainly look for Isabella on my own, but in a place this big, I'd be lucky if I didn't end up lost or finding her before we need to meet up with Zachary and Ash tonight. Sighing, I reach for my mobile and redial her number, the gesture familiar now after so many attempts earlier. If she doesn't answer, I can still try contacting Miss Cooper. I just hope the network reception will cooperate this time. This side of the country has never been popular with the tech-savvy after all. To my relief, it only took 3 unsuccessful tries. After the 4th one, right as it's about to switch to another intercept message, the line finally rings. Silence follows as I wait for it to pick up, the ringing going far too long for my tastes. By now, most of the visitors have already cleared out. All I have for company are the faint murmurs and an eerie calmness left in their wake. A sudden hush settles and gives way to louder noises than they're ever meant to be. Doors creaking and slamming shut in the distant part of the mansion, floorboards groaning under the sheer weight of the house's history. In the now empty hall, they all reverberate with special clarity against the walls. Like this, those old stories almost seem to have a ring of truth to it. I don't get to stray far into that ugly line of thought, however. Not a second later, a click sounds from the other end. The blonde one partner, she's the one who trapped Marianne. Yeah, the thing is, we don't know for sure. But that's one of the original owners of the house. Same with the stained glass, and she looks a lot like Hannah. And Marianne also commented on the extreme likeness between Hannah and Lorraine.
Hello? Isabella? Miss Cooper called earlier and... Isabella? Belle? Are you alright?
Without any warning, the call gets cut off. Busy notes flare sharply against the heavy silence, but above the noise cutting through the mute air remains the faint cries of a woman. From beyond the foyer. My hand falls to my side as I cast a wary look around, waiting for someone to come running. Surely I can't be the only one here hearing this. There must still be some staff hanging around, checking things out. But no one does. Not even when her sobs turn more frantic and anguished.
Excuse me? Hello? Who's there? Isabella? Isabella? Is that you?
No answer. Growing anxious, I amble over to where her cries come from, each step slow and cautious towards the door on the other end of the room. While I'm far from someone who readily gives into fear of stories lacking factual basis, the vague, restless feeling I have earlier immediately returns to me. And despite myself, my heart begins to race and my breathing quickens.
Belle, it's me. Miss Cooper called. Is everything okay?
Abruptly, all of it stops. My whole body tenses, mouth dragging in a ragged breath, ears straining for any other sound yet to come from the other side. This is the 21st. This is the first day that we played as Isabella. The day that she found the letter in the attic. So this is the first time we ever saw the ghost. Porcelain Rod, thank you so much for that raid. Thank you very, very much. Wow, what a long stream for you. Right? thank you very much. Hi, G. Hi, Porcelain Rat. How are you guys? Thank you so much. I did not check out Sack's jail scene yet. No. Oh, that is definitely one of the things that I was supposed to do. Yeah, I forgot, but I will. I will. How is your stream, Vi? Thank you so much. How is Resident Evil 2? I still haven't played it. Cause I'm way too obsessed with this game. You changed your schedule. Oh. Trying to get it to better suit me. Good thinking. Very, very good thinking. I always say to people that your schedule should be for when it works best for you. And everything else is sort of secondary. So good. I'm glad to hear it. I'm so excited. But I've just been so captured by this game that I have to finish it before I can play anything else.
Hello, friend.
Gee, thank you so much for gifting a sub to Porcelain Rat. This is very kind, very generous. Oh, gee, it's very nice, yeah. Super kind. Also, if you're easily scared, you might be a little careful with this game. I'm just saying, there's a good chance that we will get a ghost scene very soon. I am just saying, just a friendly warning. Nothing follows. Instead, the quiet only lends itself to the heavy tension in the air, as if every small movement will disturb the fragile stillness hanging in the room. I wait for another second. Then, with caution, I reach for the knob. My fingers barely graze the brass handle when a hand falls on my shoulder.
Excuse me, ma'am?
It's Marianne. It's not like very jump scary, but it's incredibly unsettling, I would say. She looks ready to attack. We want to play this game? You should. I would highly recommend it. I'm very well, thank you. I've been having a toothache for a couple of days, like a week, and it's almost entirely gone, and it's a wonderful feeling. NECA and Simon compete for the most scaredy cat. I think you would rank fairly similar on that. She's ready to kick some ass, yeah. Yep.
Oh,
it's Rose.
I'm so sorry.
Oh.
I didn't mean to startle you.
It sounded like Marianne.
No, it's a...
Good night, Saima. Thank you so much for hanging out. Hope you sleep well. Appreciate you being here. Still reeling, my gaze shifts back to the doors, as if any second now, the cries will start again, or whoever's inside will burst out of the room. But I don't get to dwell on these. The woman's worried voice breaks through the haze in my mind again, oddly soothing in the thick of my unease. Of course, G. I understand that you're tired. Sleep well. Have a great day tomorrow. Even if the concerned look comes from a total stranger, finally being in the company of someone else is somehow comforting.
Ma'am? Are you okay?
Oh, no, I'm fine. This is probably just some cold.
Do you need to sit down?
No need. I'm actually looking for a friend.
She left like half an hour ago. I wave the mobile in front of her, like the gesture alone explains everything. Vaguely, I note my tight grip on it and quickly slip it into my pocket before she notices. She doesn't need to know.
Well, I'm not really sure if your friend would still be here. We're actually about to close the open house in a few minutes, ma'am.
No worries. She's not a guest here. She works for Briar Realty. Miss Cooper called me earlier. In fact, I'm also looking for her.
Recognition flashes in her eyes, and her worried expression dissolves into a smile at once. It's all I need to know, that I don't have to look anywhere else or venture deeper into the mansion on my own. In some way, I'm not too keen on the latter right now. Yeah, definitely, Porcelain Rat, if you do play this game, go into it completely blind, because it's an adventure, and it has so many twists and turns, and it's so good. I would highly recommend it. Thank you so much for the raid, and we'll see you later. Gone too quick. We can't play as Rose, right? I agree. I definitely agree.
Oh, Miss Rebecca Gales, is it?
I wonder if we see more about her, what happened to her when we play as Ash.
Yes. Sorry if I'm a bit late.
It's not a problem. I was busy with the open house and a few clients anyway. It's actually a good thing you came when you did. Let's see. Isabella should be here somewhere. I told her to stay put earlier. Girl never listen.
Rose? Rosie?
Hannah?
May I have a minute?
Yeah.
There's just this one little thing before we go.
Miss Cooper's head immediately snaps up at the voice. In a blink, a different kind of smile spreads on her face. A smile still, friendly even, but the kind given manually for the sake of pleasing other people rather than making friends. And then weird way she stands, she could be a good character. I agree! I think she's super interesting, and I want to know more about her just in general.
Yes, ma'am. I'll be there in a few.
It's an impressive thing to say the least. That level of professionalism. I suppose working years in this kind of business trains you enough to be able to pull that off without batting an eye. It certainly didn't seem to have rubbed off on Isabella, though.
Sorry, could you give me a second? I have to take care of this.
You actually changed mic when she recorded her lines. She does sound different. I agree. She sounds... I don't know in what way she sounds different, but it's like, it's almost more muffled.
Don't worry about it. I understand. I can wait a few more minutes. Clients, right?
You won't hear anything from me. Priorities, you know? But if you want, you can stay at the parlor in the meantime.
She recorded her lines from under a blanket.
Refreshments left.
No, thank you. I'm going out with a few friends after this. Isabella's supposed to join us too. But that depends on how she's doing, of course.
So, Rebecca doesn't realize that all the things that she just heard was a ghost. Clearly, because she was so dismissive over Isabella talking about the ghost. Or maybe she's just in denial. Maybe that's it. Maybe she's just in denial and she doesn't want it to be the ghost, so therefore she's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Of course it's not a ghost. Imagine being that impressed that a person knows how to smile at a customer. They should hear me when I'm on the phone in customer service. I go from complaining about a customer to my coworkers to being the friendliest person you've ever heard as soon as I answer that phone. There's no reason to think it's a ghost right now. No, not really. I mean, she did hear like the breathing on the phone, and then she heard the crying, which is weird. Can confirm Twiggie can be nice. Thank you for confirming. Neka has seen this side of me. Does she know the ghost is a thing? No, not yet, because today is the day that Isabella finds the letter, right? And she doesn't tell Rebecca about the letter until later this same day.
Alright, this won't be long, I promise.
But we now know that Rebecca also can see the ghost or hear the ghost, right? Which means that we're gonna have scenes with Rebecca and the ghost. She throws me an apologetic look before sauntering over the small group gathered at the entrance. A couple or siblings, and another woman, probably their secretary. Either way, they look no different from the other guests. Rebecca walks into Burger King and the person behind the counter smiles at her. Ah, yes, she thinks to herself. This is the level of unparalleled professionalism I demand. Ah, glorious. That's probably what she thinks too. Even before she saw the letter, yeah. The beautiful mind-style blackboard with equations on it to keep track of all the timelines. I'm like halfway considering writing everything down in my notebook. Just to make it a little more, like, a little more organized than what this is. All three of them primely dressed, albeit in a manner significantly simpler than the others. No frills, no extravagance of any form. But their gestures and movements alone speak volumes of their ingrained lifestyle. In their presence, I do what I can to appear inconspicuous on my side of the foyer. Maybe accepting Miss Cooper's offer would have been a much better choice than standing around awkwardly and gaping at them. All while also attempting my best not to listen in on their conversation. Although that one proves a little more difficult with how enthusiastic the blonde woman is. Her voice easily echoes through the walls with only the five of us here. Pretty soon I find myself being drawn into their talk without meaning to.
Tomorrow? First thing in the morning?
Twiggie has been nice to me at least once. I'm so glad that all these people are coming forward to confirm that I have it in me to be nice. Deep down.
First thing in the morning, ma'am.
The mundane talk isn't what catches my attention, however.
Very well. We'll have our lawyers prepare everything as soon as possible. Let's make this whole thing easier for everyone, shall we? Just let me know if there's anything you need from me.
Look at her smile. This is the kind of professional smile that Becca expects and is impressed by.
You know how to contact me, yes?
It's amazing. Look at that.
Got your mobile number saved here already.
Good. It's just a matter of time then.
It's a brief moment, a fleeting shift of my eye.
Monday for us, Marianne.
As long as you're positive, we won't be having any problems by that time. You can count on my team.
You worry too much. Let me handle those things. Do be thrilled, though. I imagine it's not every day you get projects like this, hmm?
Look at the shadow behind him! In the instant I turn my gaze on him, I see it. Oh, Skibbles! Not now! Not now! Drive safe, we'll see you later. You'll get a recap.
Oh, I'm certain Mint's ecstatic, Buttercup. Aren't you, Marianne? You know, we could all celebrate this with a few drinks. Why don't we? In fact, there's this really excellent Irish pub I visited a few days ago.
For context, Luke is married to Hannah, and Luke and Marianne almost hooked up while drinking in the Irish pub. Should probably spend some time with Jen. Are you prioritizing your wife over this game?
You were killing me here, Twigs. Killing me.
I'm so sorry, but thank you for the bits. Oh, we'll give you a recap later. I hope you don't miss out on too much. Looming. Hovering over his shoulders, drawn to him like a moth to a flame. A dark blur. No, a shadow.
I think I'll pass on that, sir. I have more important matters to attend to.
Darling, your liver. You already had a glass today, and apparently a few days ago as well. How many times do we have to remind you? Doctor's orders, remember?
Recording quality. I think right now, I think they're going for a muffled sound on purpose to sort of show that Becca is in this trance because of the shadow. Yeah, because it's getting more and more noticeable.
You never let me do anything fun.
But as I try to make sense of it, a heavy feeling descends over my whole body. It happens without warning, forcing me to close my eyes. The sensation creeps up to every part of me, crawling under my skin and draining me little by little of any strength. Before I know it, my hand is gripping the nearby door for support. The sudden nausea drowns out their voices, or whatever little sound there is. All except for the whispering and laughters. Judging. Mocking. Taunting. Muffled, inaudible words bearing down on me like a death sentence. They wrap around my neck and limbs, binds tighteningly with every syllable, every utterance. And with each draw of breath I take, they drag me down slowly, almost painfully, into a bottomless abyss. On and on and on. Till the sounds turn into mere distant echoes, until suddenly it shatters.
Well, what are we waiting for? Are we done here?
His voice rips through the fog like a sharp blade and my eyes snap open. When I look at them again, it's gone.
Just a second, darling.
She becomes the ghost. Here's the thing. We played as Hana before, and she became possessed. She became the ghost. What if the ghost is the player? Ooh.
Send my regards to Isabel, please.
What if the player was Bruce Willis all along? I would be in favor.
Poor girl. Please let her know she doesn't have to worry and tell her to get some rest. Anyway, we're looking forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Likewise, ma'am.
No shadows or dark clouds. Only amicable smiles and cordial handshakes. The usual pleasantries. As Miss Cooper leads them out of her mansion like a graceful host. None of the group seems to have noticed it. And even as I force my breathing to calm down, keep my eyes trained on their backs, and wait for something to happen, it doesn't come back. I have a theory. And it might be a little out there. We have seen 2 deaths, right? Rose and some other guy. What if they're not related to the ghost, I think. But what if Luke killed someone? What if we go further back? What if Luke killed the previous owner of this mansion and she's the ghost? Because I mean, we're pretty sure that this is the ghost, the previous owner of the mansion. What if he killed her, she comes back to possess people? Because he's the only one who's had that shadow behind him. And the ghost, all that ghost is saying is, help me. Kind of throwing out bad takes here because I'm assuming a lot of them will actually turn out right. There have been at least 2 murders, and I'm pretty sure Luke is a suspect. Based on everything we have heard from Ash, Luke is a suspect. And I don't know how likely it is that he will actually turn out to be the killer. But with the shadow sort of looming over him, he definitely has something to do with it. I'll just kick Luke in the face. 47 size feet, I hit hard. Sure, I'll leave you to that, Indy. I believe in you. I believe you can do some serious damage. She returns a moment later. Gently, she closes the great doors behind her, but there's a smile on her lips and an extra skip in her step when she walks back to me. Whatever she was discussing with the group had put her in a good mood. Gonna play a bit of Overwatch and head to bed. Have fun, Joey. Thank you for hanging out with us. Really appreciate it. Hope you get some sleep. Yes, Hope. Twiggiebot gets triggered by certain words. Yes. He goes home with people, sleeps with them, and then kills them. It's definitely a theory. Yes, Sakalia. Yes. Even she appears to have not observed anything odd. Was I just seeing things?
Glad that was over.
And even though she just experienced that and heard the ghost and heard the crying, she's still extremely dismissive over Isabella when she mentioned that she saw the ghost. Yeah, my theory has been that Hana is a distant relative of whoever the ghost is, but it could very well be Luke as well. That's the thing, we know nothing.
It's been a long day. I thought for sure we're going to... hey, are you sure you're doing okay? You look a bit green.
It's all good. I'm actually still recovering from a cold. Weather's been crazy lately.
Don't think we've seen that kind of shadow yet. No, we've seen that shadow once before, and that was when we were playing as Zack and Luke came to answer the door once. We haven't seen the ghost at that kind of shadow, no. If I had yellow eyes, I probably wouldn't have dyed my hair green. What? This is anime. You can't question their hair colors. That must be it. The weather, the stupid cold, and the friendly warnings I'm too stubborn to listen to. As much as I hate to admit it, Isabella's right. I was, and still am, a bit feverish when she visited me at school this morning. The medicine helped, of course, but only some. Although it's not like I can't function, it did get better after lunch, and I was able to go through my schedule like the usual. Now? No, I'm not too sure. However, I can't keep acting like I've seen some sort of apparition when it's nothing but. I simply must have listened too many times to Isabella last week. My fever-muddled mind has started to confuse things. If this doesn't let up, I just need another visit to my doctor, plain and simple. Though I do hope it won't get any worse. We did promise to watch Zachary's film together.
I know what you mean. I've been complaining to Isabel. It doesn't seem to affect her much, though. Must be because she grew up in the tropics. Anyway, shall we? She's probably hanging out with the rest of the catering staff.
She's not here because she left with Ash.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised she's there. She eats like 10 hungry men when she isn't feeling well. Lead the way.
With a small nod, she gestures for me to follow. I do so without much of thought, finally putting everything in the back of my mind. What kind of racist remark was that? Oh, Simon, you have no idea. Not one of the first times we met Luke, but one of the earlier times when we met Luke. We were with Zachary, this guy, and Luke basically said, "What is this N-word doing here?" And it was extremely uncomfortable, and it sort of drove home the point that Luke is a gigantic asshole, and this game is it brings up topics like that. Zach also made a documentary. The movie they've been talking about that they're going to see tonight is a documentary that Zach made about racism today. And then he heard that from Luke, and it was really uncomfortable. Okay, that was on the 21st, so that's gonna be here. Yeah. Isabella already left a couple of hours ago. The entire visit took a whole 24 minutes, and my trip to the mansion, as it turns out, a useless endeavor in itself. Isabella's no longer there, left shortly before I arrived. Or at least, that's what the few staff who saw her assumed. The surprising things is the game could do is make us like Luke in his chapter. They're 100% gonna do something that is supposed to make us feel at least a little sympathetic over Luke. 100%. There's no doubt in my mind that they're gonna give him like a super sad backstory, like someone, I don't know, he never talked about his mom. What if like someone dark-skinned killed his mom and he never got over it? That wouldn't excuse anything he does, but they're gonna do something like that. I think this game's writing is a bit too ham-fisted to tackle those kinds of subjects in a good way. A little bit, yeah. Yeah. No sympathy for the stinky devil. They're gonna do something, and I have no idea what it's gonna be, but I'm actually a little intrigued. And that's just because I'm so into this entire game. I want to see what they do. None of them knew where she went, but I can take a few guesses. There are only a number of places in Luxborn she frequents, and well, she's never been the complex kind. It doesn't really take a genius to figure it out. Still, it's odd she left on her own. She could have at least waited for Miss Cooper. It would have saved her having to pay the cab's fare twice today.
And right after she was told to stay put! I mean, who does that? Oh, sod off! You don't own the road!
In the end, all Miss Cooper could give me were a string of apologies for my trouble, and a request to let her know when I find Isabella. The whole affair didn't even last long. I probably spent more time traveling back and forth. Soon enough, I'm weaving my way to downtown Luxborn, worried sick, and on top of that, maybe a little annoyed. Whether at the unexpected turn of events, or at Isabella herself, I'd rather not think about it for now. Not when I'm already running late for Zachary's film. Besides, I'm perfectly sure that's where I'll find her. As one would expect, people are already gathered at the movie house when I get to it. The small avenue where it's located has been closed off early from any passing traffic to make way for the avid moviegoers who's sure to crowd the venue. I have to park almost a street away and walk the remaining distance because of it. Looking for them has taken a while in a crowd this big, but I eventually spot them near the entrance. Thanks to Zachary, mostly. And like I've surmised, Isabella's with them.
I knew it.
Wasting no time, I march over to the little group. Words filled with concern tumble out of my mouth before I can stop myself.
Isabella! Oh, thank goodness! Becca, you're just in time.
An odd expression crosses her face as I hold it with both hands, but I ignore it in favor of getting a good look at her, forcing her to keep still and fix her gaze at me.
Becca, you're squishing my face. How are you? Are you alright? Why wouldn't I be?
There doesn't seem to be any visible injury, nor does she appear to be in pain. Apart from her confused frown at my question, she looks pretty much like she would any other day. Even so, you can't really tell those things with her at first glance. The last time she got sick, she never bothered to call anyone. Even me, who lives right next door. 2:48 is a very specific time for a film to start? No. Seems like a normal time to start a movie if you ask me. If I hadn't checked on her then, she probably would have died on her bed with the rest of us none the wiser. It's one thing we laugh about now, but moments like these also teaches us something about a person. If anything, it's given me more reason to constantly worry about her. Hi Ninja Queen, good to see you, how are you doing? And the moment a familiar name comes up, I know my concerns right now aren't completely baseless.
Rose called me earlier.
Her expression swiftly changes, as gently as he can. Isabella pushes my hands away. Yet even before she says anything, I already have a hunch how this whole thing will play out.
Oh, no, everything's good. Rose covered for me at work today.
That's not what I'm talking about. How's your head?
Then and there, the whole conversation goes down as I've imagined. She dodges my hand when I reach for the back of her head, intending to check the said injury myself. Even makes a show of hiding behind Zachary just to avoid me. Hi Hahulak, good to see you. It is indeed. For those that are unaware, there's this site called QWERTY, and they have a bunch of like custom t-shirts and stuff, and sometimes they have sales. And I bought a sale where I basically bought 8 completely random t-shirts. I have no idea what they were gonna be before they arrived, and they were really cheap, and they turned out to be pretty cool. Aw, Ninja, you're so sweet. I'm glad you're here. Instantly, what's supposed to be a simple inquiry dissolves into shameless game of tag. They're really nice, Ninja. They're really good quality, and every order you get a small bag of candy. And you know, you never say no to free candy. Shouting and chasing, like none of us can be bothered to act like the full-grown adults we're all supposed to be. Including Ashton. I won't put it past Isabella, but Ash? Out of everyone? In fact, if that stupid smirk on his face tells me anything, he finds this whole mess amusing. Try to be sweet to you guys to balance out how I look at people at work. Oh, Ninja. You just send me your referral code. Right, I forgot that was a thing. It's called QWERTY, Akalia. Let me see. Let me see if I could just do that right now, if I remember my login. I should remember my login, seeing as how I ordered from them less than a month ago. But there's no account registered under that username or email. That doesn't bode well. It's not a good thing. Alright. I'll get it to you later, Akalia. Or Nippy, I mean. I'll get the referral code. Oh, for the love of...
Isabella, this isn't a laughing matter.
She did look pale when I saw her.
Wow, thanks a lot, Ashton, you traitor. I'll get you back for this, just you wait.
What? I'm just saying it as it is. If you mentioned this earlier, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now.
There's a moment's pause. My hand still mid-air as my attention shifts to Ashton, and the words he leaves hanging between the four of us. He doesn't meet my eye. I don't think he's even aware of what he said. But the meaning in each syllable alone is clear. And they echo. They sting. They burn.
I'm sorry. Saw her?
Yeah, they arrived together. Bella looked fine to me then. I don't know.
So you actually like? I ended up really liking Hana. She's my favorite character. Hana and Sakuri. Sakuri is amazing. Hana is a close second. And Marianne I liked before we played as her. Now I can't stand her anymore. Isabella is great too. But Hana and Sakuri are the best characters. By far. By far. Of course. Of course. Why else would Isabella leave on her own after being told to stay put? After that little chat about money this morning. Something close to silence falls while I mull over their words, both what's already been said and what's left unspoken. Also, for those that don't know, Becca has a huge crush on Ash. And she's had a huge crush on Ash for basically her entire life. So when she found out that Isabella left the mansion with Ash, there's a lot of jealousy. When I do find my voice, it only reeks with nothing but bitter, unpleasant thoughts. Thoughts I quickly stamp out before they surface. Who wouldn't have a crush on Ash? Yeah. Well, thoughts I hide the best I can in the deepest parts of my mind, locking it away for no one to see.
Oh, that's good. At least she didn't have to travel alone, right? At least. Good.
That's the least believable thing I've ever heard in my life. Yet try as I might, the green-eyed monster easily rears its ugly head. Like it always does, every time his gaze lingers a second longer. Every time he smiles in a manner far too gentle or far too sincere whenever he thinks no one can see. Every time my mind suggests his words mean more than they should. Every small, little thing. Despite what he says, despite his tone.
Look, you guys.
For all I know, it may just be the same kind of fondness born from friendship. Maybe I'm simply overthinking like he often tells me, or maybe there's really something there. But in his short display of impatience, I know the whole of it is just for show. After all, growing up together with him didn't teach me nothing about him. For whose sake is it this time, though? For him? For Sakuri? For her? Or for me? That I can't tell.
If she says she's okay, then there's nothing we can do about it. It's not like we can stop her either. Besides, she's still acting like the same old Isabella to me, if she can still run around like that.
Why are you taking her side?
I'm not. But if she wants to watch Zach's movie with us, I'm not going to stop her. She's probably the one looking forward to it the most.
Ash, that's... You, of all people, should know...
Tell you what, if I notice something amiss with her, I'll take her to the nearest hospital myself. Is that good enough for you?
My mouth opens and snaps shut almost as quickly, forming a thin, hard line instead. I can't respond, not because there's nothing to say. On the contrary, there's plenty. So many things I could use to reason and get him to agree. But because he speaks with so much certainty, with much reassurance, it feels like there isn't even a choice. All I can give is a long, deep breath and a reluctant nod in the face of it. Before I can get a grip of myself and my own weakness, the mood immediately shifts and I'm being tackled into a hug.
Thanks, Becca.
It's always been you with him, isn't it?
Did you say something?
Fuck you, Becca. Oh, moving to the bed sounds great, mister. That sounds very comfortable. And you know I'm all about comfortable.
Me? Nothing. Don't mind me.
A lie, obviously. What else can it be? Each and every smile, a tiny effort to keep things as they are, or so I tell myself. Little do I know, this is merely a preamble. Just tell her you like him. She's been in love with him for 20 years. Like, I think she's a little past the point of just telling him. But yeah, she should. 20 years. It starts out quietly and without fanfare, amidst friendly jibes and harmless teasing, with a scrap of paper fluttering harmlessly to the ground. One that looks suspiciously like a cheap Halloween prank, no matter how you look at it. And yet, despite how ludicrous it all is, Isabella stubbornly insists, as if our whole life depends on acknowledging the truth in her story. Does she even realize how absurd she sounds now? Crivens, even my students wouldn't fall for this. I just want to point out that when we were playing as Marianne, she got locked in the dungeon with the ghost, and there was a videotape of some kids finding this letter, and they were obviously adding things to it. The letter already said help me over and over again, but I'm pretty sure that they added the whole send this to 5 people or else. Just thought I'd throw that out there. Also, I'm gonna take a short break. I'm gonna take like a few minutes break, just refill my water and do some stretches and stuff. I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, guys, we are back, and I sorted out my login for QWERTY, so if you are interested in buying a t-shirt from QWERTY, use that referral link right there, and I'll get a free t-shirt the next time I order. Thank you. Alright, let's see where this goes.
Isabella, aren't you taking this a bit too far?
She doesn't give me the time to regret, nor think over my choice of words. From there, it escalates, grows into an argument too petty, even for our standards as adults. Hi, Bufu! Good evening, how are you doing? Isn't that a good deal, Ninja? You use that link and I get free stuff. Perfect. Glad to hear it, I'm doing well too, Bufu. We're now playing as Becca. So far, she's not making a better impression, but I'm also not hating her that much, so, I don't know. I am excited to see more of her story. Such a good sales lady, right? Before we know it, one after another, harsh, scathing words are being spoken.
It's not a joke! Will you guys listen to me first?
You like Becca?
I
Interesting.
saw something in the house earlier. It stood right in front of me. If I hadn't gotten away, that thing might have...
Right. And in broad daylight, Isabella. Even someone gullible would find the logic in that screwed up. There's also no way in hell that this supernatural shit is true.
But it's real! What do you think I saw?
A hallucination? A delusion? Didn't you say you fell down some stairs? So maybe Rebecca's right.
I'm gonna buy all these shirts. I bought the mix of 8 random shirts for €4 per shirt. Free shipping. I regret nothing. Nothing at all.
It happened after, when I was trying to get away. I almost got stuck in the same room with that thing. We're all in danger. I thought you were my friends. Why don't you believe me?
But someone has to be patient in all this, and however much my own has already been frayed earlier, there's no one else. Who else here can deal with someone so selfishly acting like a kid? Like every other time, it has to be me.
We are, and you know that. But this thing and that thing has got nothing to do with the other. When Rose called earlier, I thought she's just exaggerating. But based on what I'm seeing right now, maybe it's better if we really postpone this for now.
Grabbing leftover pizza? Oh, nice. Leftover pizza is so good.
Don't bother.
Just like that, she cuts us off. Slams the door right on our faces, while my own temper flares before I can stop it. Although it falters briefly as a hard expression on her, when she snatches the blasted paper from Ashton, I hold on to it. Regardless of how upset she appears, soured expression and balled fist, throwing a tantrum is simply unacceptable. Good lord, Becca. For a grown woman at that. Words form at the tip of my tongue, ready. But before I can open my mouth and let all of it out, her feelings and mistakes be damned, Zachary raises a voice of his own.
Guys!
A warning, underneath the warm and hopeful beat in his voice. We all stop and look at him, and even my own anger subsides a little at his tone.
Why don't we all calm down first? I'm sure Isabella has her reasons too. No need to be hard on her. And hey, ain't this supposed to be a happy get-together?
Zach is the best character. To an outsider, it may sound like a desperate request, but Zachary's always been the one to keep a level head over petty squabbles. This time's no different. He knows what to say, and when he lets it fall, they only ring sharp and true.
We haven't seen each other for months. I'd really love to know what y'all have been up to. I only ever get to talk to Bella over chat. Please.
And as careful as he is with his own tone, it does make me feel ashamed. We're supposed to be there for him, to give up what little support we can give, yet here he is trying to keep 3 stubborn people from outright hashing it out in public. Later, we can, and will talk about it, of course. There's a proper time and place for it, and at the moment, my anger and whatever reprimands it carries no longer matters. Besides me, Ashton appears to have already caught on. The lines of his shoulders ease to something much more relaxed, his expression back to his usual nonchalance. Isabella, however, she stands perfectly still, her hands clasping the straps of her bag like a lifeline, eyes trained at some point near her shoes. There's no anger in her face, only an undeniable hurt. But she's never been good at hiding what she thinks, always the open book, always the one to wear her heart out in the open. Welcome back, Bufu. How's the pizza? What is on your pizza? We want all the food details here. And when she looks up, her answer is also as simple.
If we keep arguing here, we're going to miss the first few minutes.
Her lips are curled up in a smile. Though lacking both its usual brightness and glee, it's a smile nonetheless. I've seen it countless of times. It's the very same one she would show when she knows she has no other choice, or simply when things get tough for her. But despite everything I still know about her, it still catches me off guard. In all honesty, I expected her to run, to balk at the first sign of losing this time. I won't even be surprised. At 26, she is the youngest among the rest of us. Less experienced, less accustomed to dealing with trivial quarrels like this. Yet here she is, holding herself and coping with it like how she would with matters concerning her family. Outside of that, to me, she's always been this childish, naive girl, and watching the opposite play out right now. Somehow, I find it difficult to wrap my head around it.
All right, that's the Isabella I know.
Oh, good. I thought for sure you were going to cry.
But I envy her.
What was that for?
Stop calling me a crybaby! I'm not one!
Oh, don't cry.
Stop it!
I envy her spirit, her warmth, her cheer, the shine in her eyes when she looks at the world, how everything seems to simply fall back into a pleasant, lively rhythm with her around. How easily she fits into our lives, even without bonds only long years could forge, like a lost piece of a puzzle, despite her jagged edges. How she draws people to her with ease. How Ashton, of all people, can be drawn to her.
Okay, scaredy cat then.
That too! If you repeat that, I swear I'll...
Let's just go.
I make no effort at keeping the bitterness from my tone. I let it seep, linger stiffly in the air as I avert my gaze from them. From their playful banter, their friendly teasing remarks, and Ashton's tender, affectionate smiles. All before the stabbing aches in my heart change into something more painful to bear. It's all in my head, is what I'd often tell myself. Yet the way my heart went at just the sight of them hurts. The movie coming soon is Bad Cat? It is! Bad Cat! Aww, we love Bad Cat. For those that are unaware, I'm just gonna quickly show you. This is Bad Cat, right here. It's precious. So precious. Aw, Ninja. Ninja. Search is Becca being lonely and jealous? So far, yes. Yep, I think that's how they're gonna try to win our sympathy for Becca, is just by over-exaggerating that her being in love with Ash is like the biggest thing in her life. Pocket Chibi on the other side, yes. Wish there was a real Bad Cat movie. I'm sure if this game gets enough of a following, I'm sure that will happen at some point. It's all in my head, is what I'd often tell myself. Yet the way my heart went, such as the sight of them hurts. And like a coward, I walk away from all of it, taking with me a small hope the movie will distract me from these thoughts. Because like this, it's easy to find something to hate in her. Alright, so we skipped the movie because we already saw the movie when we were playing as Isabella. Yeah. Right, they have so many cool designs, Pierced, and I think they're all user-generated. Pretty sure they're all user-generated, which makes it really cool. Also, the referral link, if anyone wants to use it, is right there. Bitter on purpose to keep dumb people away, then I flip and be super sweet to people I want to keep close. Oh, you're super sweet to us, so I'll take it. I appreciate it. I appreciate having you in my life, Ninja. Dusk is already giving way to night when we leave the film fest. Unfortunately, it does nothing to improve my mood like I'm hoping. Neither does the muggy air that greets us upon stepping back into the noisy streets. Too busy. Too loud. Too many people taking what little space of the sidewalk offers. It forces anyone to bump shoulders with those they barely know, let alone care about. On a normal evening, I probably wouldn't have minded the crowd, nor the humid weather. It's not like any of them are bothering anyone. Aw, Ninja. And yet, even with what's admittedly a pleasant company, I can't bring myself to lighten up.
See you guys some other time.
Yeah, see ya.
So sweet. So sweet. Hi Gonzo, good to see you. How are you doing? Thank you for stopping by. Not even to return the smiles Ashton and Zachary gives us when we go our separate ways. Love your Mass Effect BRP song. It's very good. It's one of my favorite parts of Mass Effect. The song when you're riding your spaceship is very good. It's very chill. I could listen to that forever. Perhaps this started with Miss Cooper's call, or earlier than that. Maybe even the moment I left the bed this morning. My favorite series. I played Mass Effect 1 and 2, and a couple of hours into Mass Effect 3, I sort of just lost all interest in the story. And I'm a little sad about it, but at the same time, I'm not gonna force myself to keep playing a game that I just don't... I'm not interested in it anymore, unfortunately. Good night, Fari. Thank you for hanging out with us. I'm glad you managed to win your points back. It's a quickie? Is it? How long is it? Hug has a cooldown? Aw, Hug shouldn't have a cooldown. I'll see if I can change that. Bloody hell, it could have been because of that sodding letter for all I know. I couldn't care less about it at this point. All I want is to get a warm bath, sleep, and wait for this dreadful day to end. Now, if only Isabella could stop babbling, then maybe this dull throbbing at the side of my head won't turn into a full-blown headache, too.
Zach did a pretty good job with his movie, didn't he? Even though Ash said he ran into some trouble late into filming. But I knew he had it in him. It's not like I didn't believe he couldn't do it. I mean, did you see his face after the credits rolled? All those months he worked on this, and everything's finally...
You weren't even watching.
Can beat in like 12 hours? Oh. Okay. Interesting. I will I'll keep that right. Kona girl? What are you talking about, Fari? Not gonna gamble, you can't make me, but gambling is fun.
Only the first minutes. I watched the rest of it, I swear.
Oh shit, sorry. If I just scroll the wheel instead of clicking, it brings up the backlog. I'm very well, Gonzo, thank you. How are you? It's a Thursday, Fari. I'm not drinking, even though other people are. Not mentioning any names, of course. Not mentioning any names.
Besides, Ashton was the one who wouldn't stop asking questions.
Woke up from your nap? Oh, I love naps. I love naps. I live for naps.
Well, why do we still need to talk about this then? I liked it. Ash liked it. You liked it.
It's Friday here already, and I have class on Friday, so that doesn't really work out. Naps are how I'm alive? Yeah, right? Naps are fantastic. Drinking a little sad week? Aw, I'm so sorry to hear that. I hope it gets better for you. Stayed in bed for 12 hours yesterday? That's what I like. Hungover class is part of the uni experience. Well, that's not the uni experience that I want.
Shouldn't you be telling that to Zachary in person? I'm sure he'll appreciate it better than I ever will.
I know that, but maybe there's something you want to say? Zach had you check the scripts before he went through everything, didn't he? You also worked on it, even if it was only for a short time. Maybe you want to...
You're trying to find a napping job? That sounds incredible. That sounds, yeah, just want to nap and play games. Become a full-time streamer. I'm just saying, just throwing that out there. We love you too, Ninja. Being in class while intoxicated in any kind is no fun. No! That's a terrible thing. That's a really, really terrible thing. Yes, Indy. My edgy days I smoked weed in lunch break sometimes. It was not good. No, I can imagine. I don't want anything like that. Full-time successful streamer. Right! Just go for it. You can nap all day if you want. Almost all day. And then you play video games the rest. I don't bother waiting for the rest. The moment I spot my car, I immediately make a quick beeline for it. Knowing her, this is merely another attempt at starting a conversation, just so we'll have something to fill the dead air, to replace the strained atmosphere we've somehow walked into. One thing, the very thing I'm not too keen to deal with at the present. Behind me, Isabella also matches her pace to match mine, her soft strides growing brisk and uneven in order to catch up. A small part of me half expects she'll suddenly trip. She's not the clumsy sort, but there are definitely times when she can be the last coordinated person on the planet. Just want to check something. Tomorrow, they go have lunch together, and then Isabella sees the ghost in the window. A lull time streamer. Exactly. That's what we want to aim at.
Becca, hey! Oh no. Wait for me!
And people wonder why I worry. They're not really completely unfounded once you've already grown familiar with her habits. Though right now, this is also at the very end of the list of things I want to think about. Sometimes it does become overbearing. Even her voice as she calls after me sounds nothing more than background noise to my ears now.
Rebecca, slow down, will you? Your car's not going to leave without us.
The sooner we get on the road, the earlier we can get home.
I gotta say, I relate more and more to Becca here.
It's Friday, in case you didn't notice.
There are no other streamers than Twiggie. See, Joey knows. Joey knows.
I know what day it is, but the traffic's not going to magically disappear, even if we go there right now.
I don't want to hear that from you. Didn't you used to complain how horrendous the traffic is back home for you?
Yeah? But that doesn't have anything to do with this, Becca.
Okay. What do you want to do then? Wait it out? Walk? I just want to go home, Isabella. If you want to stay out here longer, I won't stop you. But leave me out of it. I'm not up for any other foolish excursions tonight.
I wasn't thinking about an excursion. I want to go home too. It's already late. It's just that you've been in this prickly mood since earlier. Are you really okay? Was it the cold? Or did something happen at school?
So Isabella doesn't know that Becca went all the way out to the mansion to take her home. And when Isabella already had left home with Ash, Becca got really upset about that.
Do you want to talk about it?
A long pause follows, and it holds everything she's been meaning to ask from the very start. I'm in no mood, but at the same time, my hand stops short of unlocking my car, and my grip on the handle tightens. I can feel her eyes poring on me, waiting, hoping patiently for any answers I give. She's the same as Zachary. They're bad liars. But when you talk to people like them, if you're not careful, they often leave you with no other choice but to admit the truth. Those exact same ones I can't voice. Despite my lack of response, she pushes on, surprisingly. This time her tone is quieter, more tentative than usual.
Was it because of the letter?
It's a well-meaning question, much like the rest of this talk. Yet something in how she says it irks me.
If it is, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to cause a scene. I did see something in the mansion, though. I wasn't lying about that.
Wherever she wants to take this, I no longer want to hear a word of it. Not at this minute, preferably never. Especially when there's already a million other things buzzing and prodding inside my head. Sometimes my patience can only be tried for so long. I'm not sure if we should say anything. Because here's the thing, when we were playing as Isabella, there was nothing to indicate that Rebecca believed her in any way. And so I see no sort of reason that Rebecca now would go, this Cole caught up with me and I saw or heard something in the mansion, you know? I don't think that would be a thing. I don't think that's... That would be very out of character, I think. And I think... I'm basing this on the impression that I had of Becca when I was playing as Isabella. Isabella is fantastic. She is so sweet. I don't think Rebecca would say anything about anything that happened in the mansion.
And during the open house, even if there were a lot of people around, there were weird things happening. I don't know if there was anyone else who noticed, but I heard things.
So did Becca.
I'm sure it wasn't because I fell down the stairs. Even before that, in the attic,
Will you give the sorting letter a rest already?
See, this is what I think of Rebecca. This is the impression I got of her when we were playing as Isabella. The effect is immediate. Abruptly, Isabella clams her mouth shut. Hurt flickers across her face as she looks away, and her shoulders droop, all before the thought of holding back on my tone, or how she'll take every word crosses my mind. When the realization does hit after, a twinge of guilt washes over me at once. But with all that has already been said and done, what am I supposed to tell her then? That I'm someone who can be so easily unsettled by my own assumptions? That this stupid sulk has been brought by some equally stupid jealousy? That the simple glimpse of her and my childhood friend together infuriates a part of me? Or that I wish I'd been in her place during those times instead? True or not, I owe her neither of those, and if anything, she's the last person I want to know about it.
Look here, I'm not in the mood for this kind of talk tonight. My head is aching and I'm tired. I don't want to hear about the dumb letter, or the mansion, or whatever it was you saw in the bloody attic. Just get in the car and we're going home.
Yeah, this is how I think Becca would react based on her when I played Isabella. Hi Toasted Chelsky, good evening. How are you doing?
Sorry. I won't mention it again.
If you're so worried about it, why don't you just throw the blasted thing away?
You make it sound so easy.
Because it is. Here, hand it over and I'll do it for you. Might as well shred it up while we're at it.
I hold a hand out to her, though the gesture is without any expectations. She's nothing if not stubborn, and this isn't surprising when she turns the offer down with a swat of her hand.
Rebecca, just leave it alone, okay? I get it. You don't want anything to do with it.
Good. I hope that settles it.
Yeah, just forget I mentioned anything. I'll figure it out myself.
That makes me stop again. This time, I turn to look at her, searching her face for an explanation. But all she offers me is a sidelong glance and another one of those pained looks, before climbing on his passenger seat and closing the door behind me. Somehow, even with the steady din of traffic around us, the sound of that feels heavier, weighted with everything we refuse to utter tonight. This is what I want, isn't it? It certainly doesn't feel like it. Thankfully, if there's anything left to be spoken between us after, we won't have to discuss it on the way home. Or rather, we can't, because no sooner than we hit the road, Isabella dozes off. Despite my foul mood, I still end up suppressing a laughter once the first sound of her breathing filled the car.
Mama? Not your mom, Isabella.
Slow and steady, The quiet rhythm so completely unlike her, so far removed from every impression anyone has of her. A few faint whimpers will occasionally come out of her, but otherwise it's just us, this silence, and it's so utterly unexpected. Still a welcome break, of course. Peace and quiet is one thing you'll rarely get with her around. Yet it's nowhere near comforting. It merely lends the air this strange clarity, every little sound, every single movement more palpable. And with it comes the unease. A jolt of surprise hits me. It's almost comical if this was a different situation. In my haste, I accidentally dislodge my mobile from its seat on the dashboard when I swipe on the screen. Soon, I'm scrambling blindly for it with my other hand, while keeping a steady eye on the road ahead. Okay, it's 2 days before she dies. A voice crackles from the loudspeaker before I can put it back. Although muffled heavily by the surface, I recognize the person on the other line from her chipper tone alone.
Hello? Miss Cooper? Oh, you're still awake. Evening. I hope I didn't disturb you or anything. I know it's a bit late. Sorry about that. I just want to check on you and Isabella. That girl's still not answering her mobile. Were you able to meet up with her?
Yes. She's with me. We're on our way home.
Hello? What was that again? I can't hear you properly.
Sorry. Let me just fix this dumb phone.
My hand stops dead for a moment. I spare the device a brief glance, waiting. Seconds pass. Nothing happens, though. Frankly, I'm not sure what I'm expecting, but the lines in my mouth form into a frown regardless.
Miss Cooper?
Yes, still here.
Did you say something?
Just that I didn't get the last part. What were you saying again?
No, I thought you... Never mind. Must be the signal acting up.
Uh-huh.
Coming in?
What?
Is everything all right over there?
Certainly. Is something wrong? What wouldn't...
This is really uncomfortable.
Okay, you seem to be busy. If this is a good time, I can just call you back some,
I have to make a conscious effort not to panic right there and then. Although my tight hold on the steering wheel tells a different story altogether.
Miss Cooper? Rose? Hey, Rose! Are you still there?
Only bursts of static answers me in. Hi, Tug. Right? Is how most of my phone calls sound where I live? I would move. Maybe this lapse is entirely because of exhaustion. It has been a long day, and I haven't fully recovered from last week's bout of flu, contrary to what I've been telling people. Though perhaps, had I paid closer attention to it, had I not been so occupied with other thoughts, I probably would have noticed earlier that it never came from my phone! Oh! Oh god, I had chills! Oh! Oh, I literally got chills from that sentence. Whew! Whew! But for somewhere right behind me! The help me never came from the phone. It's coming from behind her in the car. Ah! Please don't show the ghost in the car. Please don't show the ghost in the car. Time slows to a crawl. Looking up is a mistake. The first thing I see is this face, a ghastly shade, every inch battered, bruised, and bloodied. Even in the darkness and the world passing by in a blur of lights outside, I can still make out the wounds. Blood still oozes from it, the little trails of crimson running down its face, glistening under what little light there is. There's a gleam in its eyes that catches mine. The quiet plea, the anguish, and the desperation in them. More than its hideous features and the awful stench of gore now soaking in the air. As I try as I might, I can't bring myself to look away. Even as its lips contort into a horrific smile. Even as a sharp, harsh noise pierces the air and the silence around us.
Rebecca! Huh? Car! Eyes on the road!
Against everything I've been taught, and I've constantly reminded myself, I close my eyes. It's a brief moment, a short, vivid second of muscle memory and instinct completely taken over. And if I didn't allow it, my hands didn't move or my feet didn't hit the brakes in that exact second, I might have... Isabella and I might have... No. I shake the notion away before I lose myself in it. Right now, it's an ugly line of thought I refuse to venture into. Not when the breathing is a struggle and every ounce of strength has been totally drained from my body. Most definitely not while Isabella's panicked voice beside me still rings in my ears. We're alive. We're safe. That's all that matters. But it's not her face that I look for when I finally open my eyes. All gone. I expected stains, little telling marks and creases on the covers to show me where it sat not a second ago. But whatever that is, it left not a single trace. And though courage is a hard thing to gather at this point, I take what little of it remains in me and turn it towards the back seat. Even then, there is none. Oh wow, that was so good! Oh boy! It's not Rose. Rose doesn't die for another 2 days. We're on the 21st. Rose doesn't die until the 23rd. Or on the 22nd, sorry. She dies on the 22nd. So she dies tomorrow, but not now. Right? Yeah, this is the movie. We're right after the movie. And she dies on the 22nd. The evening before, yeah. Why does Rose of all people die? I assume... I'm like 90% sure that when we get to Ash, he's gonna be investigating the murders. Or was there really something there in the first place? With how empty it is, I'm beginning to doubt it. The stupid flu again.
I need a long rest after this.
My hands fall uselessly to my sides, numb from how taut the grip on the wheel has gone, yet still trembling from the unexpected rush of adrenaline. Against my ears, my heart still pounds in erratic rhythm, and my breathing hasn't slowed down. But the world has already righted itself without waiting for me, and little by little, second after second, as I sit there motionless, color begins to seep back around me. Along with it are sounds and a voice, and no longer the indistinct ringing it was earlier.
Rebecca! Becca! Are you okay? Answer me, will you? You're scaring me! You know what? I think we should just call a taxi since...
Can you keep it down?
Strained, harsh, and completely unintentional. But with the heat prickling at the back of my eyes for a mild throbbing at my temple, I could honestly do with a little silence for now.
Keep it down? We almost crashed, Becca!
I know what happened. It was a lapse. I'm sorry.
A lapse? You call that a lapse? Becca, I really don't want to end up a mangled mess on the side of the road. Or a mangled mess anywhere. All I'm asking, if the time ever comes, which I hope isn't right now, is a peaceful death. Give that—
Isabella.
I'm sorry.
Belle, you're overreacting. If you're so worried, why don't you drive?
Don't have a license.
I keep telling you to get one, didn't I? For the past 5 years.
Uh-huh.
Do you see why now?
I wasn't really expecting to stay here this long. I thought it'd just be for a year or two.
Or reacting about almost dying. Thing is, I think when you're in this situation, it's very easy to downplay what happened because she doesn't want it to seem like they almost died, because that would make it worse because she's technically at fault for what happened. All of a sudden, a pensive mood comes over her. Isabella looks away then, while what's left of my little lecture never crosses the tip of my tongue. I don't allow it to, because in each of those words she lets loose earlier is a small truth. Her stay is always meant to be something fleeting. Earn some good money, go home. It's what she'd tell herself during her first year here. Now, half a decade later, I'm not sure if she still believes that. Even I'm not sure if I still believe it. And if there's something in her reasons that have changed along the way, even if I already have a hunch, it's one thing I never bother to ask. Those are hers to keep.
I'll be careful this time, I promise. Just
just please, can we give this whole thing a rest for now?
She nods, and that's the end of it. We spend the rest of the trip back to Salem Valley in silence. The honking is from the game. Alright. So I can feel my my throat really starting to hurt, and I am getting a headache, and I have an early class tomorrow, and right now I'm just finding excuses to end the stream because I do think I need to end the stream. I do think that I'm gonna need to end it right here. Tomorrow is Friday, and Friday means community night. It's movie night. Unfortunately, I do kind of just want to keep playing this game forever and ever. But you know, that's me. But it's movie night tomorrow, and we'll keep playing this all weekend. We'll keep playing it Saturday, Sunday, and then as much as possible next week. So, and Apex with Skibbles. Yes, that too. So, thank you all so much for hanging out and for watching this. I know I've said it before, but it's one of those games where I know very well it's not gonna be everyone's taste, and the fact that you guys still hang out and watch with me, it means a lot. I really, 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 really appreciate it. And I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day and night.
Thanks for the stream. Sleep well, and I'm looking forward to finding out what movies we'll watch tomorrow, Twiggie love.
Thank you for the bits, Pierced. So for those who want to join for the movie night, it all happens in Discord. So join the Discord if you're not there already, and you'll be able to join. It's very easy. Everyone's more than welcome to join. It's always a good time. So those who want can do that, and I will be back streaming on Saturday. So thank you all so much for hanging out. Good night, everyone.